With a historic 21 million Americans out of work as of May 2020, there is a renewed focus on entrepreneurship, whether out of need, opportunity, or some messy middle.
Jay has been like a huge help in everything that I've done, whether it be connections or just giving me advice so I could figure out what route I wanted to take in participating in Love Loss Clothing. I also got a lot of opportunities. It was real important to what I was actually trying to do.
Entrepreneurship has been one of the fastest growing fields of study over the past decades. Yet, the vast percentage of startup founders drop out of college to start their billion-dollar ventures. The most recent Forbes billionaire list, which ranks the top 400 wealthiest people in the world, 63 were college dropouts. For the benefit of larger number of students and those with more diverse backgrounds, entrepreneurship education should focus on gaining the right knowledge, tools, and networks necessary to break the cycle of stagnation, and strategic guidance on building the right company.
launchU uses the combined power of alternative data, psychometric, and artificial intelligence to close the critical gap that prevents the financial institutions to lend to the low-income borrowers. Through partnering with the CIA, help us to grow the startup in other geographies and raise funds. The valuable networks and the potential target customers that we got from the CIA help us to grow the startup and make it more valuable to the investors. We believe that in future, we partnered with the CIA to raise more funds, to get more customers, as well as the valuable connections that we get.
I did my project 1 and project 2 in a clothing company called Love Loss. I was introduced to the owner, and he had created the clothing line because his mother passed away from cancer. I'm kind of happy that I took the route I took, especially me being the type of person that I am. I was grateful that Jay introduced me to the CIA Center.
We are UME Do Arts, the third place winners for the 2019 launchU competition. Our project actually started as an art display to show creative placemaking to reduce our carbon footprint, and later turned into an initiative to educate our peers.
We at the CIA are uniquely positioned to help people who normally do not have an opportunity to start a company. But to truly make entrepreneurship accessible to all Americans, some fundamental things must change. And the first is education. For the benefit of larger number of students and those with more diverse backgrounds, entrepreneurship education should focus on a wider range of paths for starting a business rather than focusing on pie-in-the-sky pitches delivered on a demo day like some half-baked reality show. Entrepreneurs need peers they can talk with, who can give them advice and guidance. CIA has some great corporate partners that realize the value of teaching real-world strategies and building networks necessary to break the cycle of stagnation. Also, companies that are looking to partner with a STEM university to innovate on products and services using latest technology without spending top dollars.
At Maori, we are committed to innovation. It's an old industry that's just now getting its feet under it when it comes to innovation. So whether it be cloud-based technologies, we have cameras on our job sites that are now detecting where people are. We use drones on a weekly basis to really get better access to our job sites. Not to mention that we can create higher performing buildings with technology. In order to have a collaborative mindset, you need to include diverse backgrounds. And that's what we really love about HU and their program here. The students, the faculty, the staff, all come from different walks of life, different areas, different regions, and it's a great melting pot. And with that, you have great ideas, great innovation, and it really is exciting for us. We can throw ourselves into this very diverse group and learn a lot from them.
Please join hands with CIA as a partner, mentor, and investor to build the healthiest ecosystems that are diverse and inclusive. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to launchU, our very own version of Shark Tank, a place where dreams are pitched, fortunes are made, and where you will find out just how persuasive your classmates can be when there's a little bit of cash on the line. Whether you are from high school or college, today's the day where your ideas will either sink or swim. And remember, the bigger the splash, the better. I'm Jay Mohan. I'm the founder director of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship here at Harrisburg University. So let me start by a big shout out to the Hershey Company for being an incredible partner to CIA. And then first things first, uh, let's give a round of applause. Use your emojis to all of our participants who have taken the plunge and decided to showcase their innovation. Your bravery and creativity are what make events like this so exciting. And to our audience, thank you for being here to support, cheer, and perhaps maybe give some dramatic emojis at some of the pitches we are about to hear. Now let's set the stage. You have got some groundbreaking idea, a game-changing invention, a service that could revolutionize the world. You are standing before our panel of discerning judges, or as I like to call them, our very own friendly neighborhood sharks. No pressure, right? Uh, but remember, even the sharks started somewhere. They weren't born with the perfect business or career plans. And speaking of great beginnings, here's a quote from Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So as you stand here today, pitching your heart out, know that passion is your secret weapon. I have been through a couple of startups, so I know this. If you love what you do, it will shine through, even if your prototype is held together with duct tape and hope. Now, for our audience members who are not pitching, your job is just as important. You are here to be the cheerleaders, the sounding boards. Feel free to laugh, clap, and make some virtual noise with the emojis. It's about the spirit of innovation, after all. Now to our judges, Martin Fedorko, Managing Director of White Rose Ventures, Jen Gilberg, Deputy Secretary of Technology and Entrepreneurship of PA, and our returning judge, Alicia Petrus, Chief Diversity Officer, the Hershey Company. We are incredibly thankful for your time, for volunteering your time and expertise. We know that you will be fair, constructive, and hopefully kind enough not to bite too hard. These are the brilliant minds of tomorrow, and one of these pitches might be the next big thing. And who knows, in a few years, we might all be using the products and services that is launched here today. So without further ado, let's get these ideas flowing, those creative juices bubbling, and let's see some incredible pitches. Remember, every great success story starts with a single, often awkward, I have been through quite a few of those, often nerve-wracking pitch. Embrace the moment, enjoy the journey, and most importantly, have fun. Let's make a splash. So welcome to launchU again. And now, I want to invite, it's my privilege and honor to welcome the president of Harrisburg University, Dr. Eric Dar, to share how this and other programs of CIE fits in with the larger vision that he has for the university and the city of Harrisburg.
I too want to add my congratulations to everybody that's made it this far through the process, and wish you luck today in your presentations and in all things that you do moving forward. Whether you win today or not, you all have really terrific ideas and I think opportunities before you. So, today is one step in the journey, and but don't be discouraged overly if it doesn't go exactly your way. As Jay said, Harrisburg University was founded with the principal idea of education, but our mission statement, unlike many other institutions of higher education, actually connects the business of education with economic development and the creation of new businesses. So we are mission driven to support days like today, and the support for founders and the support for innovation in a way that creates economic benefit for all of us. And so it's a very different, I think, dynamic than many of my other colleagues in higher education when in business incubators or the support for founders is something that's done off to the side, and it's not part and parcel of the main activities of the institution. at Harrisburg University, what we do today and what the CIE does is front and center in the importance of everything the university does. And so we try to connect our founders not only with students and student interns, but with faculty members who are leading researchers in their areas of specialty. We try to do that in meaningful ways. We also try to connect our founders with our other partners, again, whether regardless of industry. And we've, over the years, developed hundreds of partners that may come to bear on the support for the businesses that you're trying to build as founders. And so we're excited about that opportunity. But if you take one thing away from my comments, just please recognize that at Harrisburg University, the support for founders, the support for innovation are part and parcel of everything that we do. And it is front and center in its importance. It's not off to the side. It is critical for the success of not only the university, but the community we live in and the region we operate in. So again, I want to add my congratulations to everybody, my good luck, wishes for good luck today. Just know that we'll be there to support you, win or lose today, as you move forward on your journey in being a founder.
Great. All right, so as soon as I hit the play button, you can start. For everyone watching, every participant has exactly 8 minutes to present. In the interest of fairness, after the 8 minutes is up, I will just be cutting them off. Same with all of the other teams, just so everyone gets the same exact 8 minutes. So as soon as I hit the play button, you can start.
Okay. Hello, I'm Ainam Desan from Central Dauphin East High School, and my idea for the launchU competition is a geothermal heating and cooling system, earth temp systems. Next slide, please. So my business summary for earth temp systems, my idea is to cover all of these points by being sustainable and energy efficient by providing reliable heating and cooling, helping customers reduce their energy consumption and their energy costs. And you'll see throughout this presentation the comparison of geothermal systems and traditional systems and how significant the saving costs will be with earth temp systems. Next slide, please. So one of the main problems in the world is pollution. Health risks include respiratory problems and chronic disease. Various sources such as industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, adequate waste disposal, and so on. Climate change, by damaging the ecosystem and loss of biodiversity, is caused by pollution. It has significant impacts on the weather patterns, destruction of natural habitats, sea level rising, and Earth's ecosystem overall. Next slide, please. The solution is earth temp systems or geothermal heating and cooling systems, which do not release harmful substances into the air, keeping it clean and helping to clear greenhouse gas emissions. How? So we're using heat from the oil, so we don't have to rely on oil. We're using heat from the earth, and not relying on oil, so we can cut down on pollution. The benefits are lasting a lot longer, so they do not need much maintenance, so they're sustainable. Geothermal systems also have power plants, which are energy efficient, meaning that they save energy and benefiting the environment. And additionally, in the long run, they can reduce energy costs. Next slide, please. So promotion of product, for promoting, using online advertising for the purpose of reaching a wider audience, forming partnerships with contractors in order to expand our reach, and participating actively in industry events. Targets. The sales marketing strategy is to target households and businesses through a variety of channels. That can be through people with lower income or people with more flexibility of money. It's important to know that since geothermal heating and cooling systems are benefiting the ecosystem, it is more cost efficient. Examples of ways that you can reduce the cost is tax benefits. If you have an installation of a geothermal system, certain areas offer tax incentives or exemptions. An incentive is getting your money back on property taxes. And as you can see on the graph, it has reduction of electricity, water, and then you will also get that money for your tax benefits or tax exemptions that you would have. Excuse me. Next slide, please. The revenue model is a sales and installation of earth temp systems, maintenance services, and contracts that will be formed based on models. So a comprehensive package will be included in the system design, installation, and maintenance to support and ensure customers are satisfied with the services. Reliance from the initial design phase to installation and beyond, customers can rely on us for the entire process. Some companies do some jobs and you would need another company to finish it. We will be there from start to finish. And also for the cost, a normal geothermal system cost is between $18,000 to $30,000, but for a traditional unit, it's about $400 to $600 for heating and then $7,000 to $12,000 for cooling. Since a geothermal system in the long run saves around 30 to 70% on heating and cooling and 20 to 50% on cooling costs compared to a conventional system, those percentages you will start to see the reduction in that percentages upwards of 5 to 10 years. Next slide, please. Competitive advantages in competition. Nowadays, patent technology and the expertise in the field is very hard to find with earth temp systems. We will ensure a strong focus on customer satisfaction, which will contribute to a competitive advantage. In order to make the installation process as smooth as possible, we'll offer customized solutions for each customer's particular needs. Now, a water furnace is usually a traditional unit. Earth temp system is a geothermal unit. It is very energy efficiency, which means in the long run it can save money on your electricity bill. It's environmentally friendly, renewable. It has renewable energy and reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Longer life expectancy. Geothermal systems tend to have a longer lifetime than you would have for a water furnace, so it's reliable and comfort for many years. But it is space required, so ground loops and drilling, which may not be feasible at all locations. So to be able to have a geothermal system acquired is a privilege due to the complexity of installation, which leads to the next, installation complexity. Compared to a water heater, geothermal systems are more difficult and time consuming due to the need for skilled professionals. For a water furnace, it is easier to install, it's versatile, which means it can operate in various settings and locations, making it an option for individual properties, but is lower energy efficiency, which means that you can consume more or your cost will go up more. It's environmentally impactful. Water furnaces are a competition. They have been in the market for years and have built a strong reputation, but my company's commitment to customer satisfaction is very unique in its technology by investing in R&Ds to improve the product and services and constantly strive for a better position. Next slide, please. So management, a management team. I'm going to compose professionals with a broad range of experience that can be with people physically working on the installation, marketing people, and customer service. The experience, I will have a collective experience group that will enable us to cope with the complexities of this industry, make relevant decisions, and tackle any challenges which will be encountered. My achievements. I am convinced that my team's ability to lead a way to a sustained growth will get us to achieve our objectives of renewability, thanks to the extensive renewable energy background that they will have. Next slide, please. So for the use of funds, there will be to help me further my development, which is the first one, development of technology. I'm going to invest about $500,000 into making earth-temp systems even more efficient. As an example, product capacity. Product capacity, I'm going to spend about $1 million on the expansion of manufacturing capabilities. Marketing efforts will be funded from this amount, so put about $300,000 into advertising and promotion of earth-temp systems. For hiring and training new staff, to support the growing customer base, I will allocate a portion of those funds, and hiring and training new staff set aside around $200,000 on hiring and training. Conclusively, the experience, saving costs, and customer satisfaction of earth temp systems are all reasons why this business will be a strong competitor in the market. Thank you for listening, and I'm open to any questions.
All right, thank you. We are going to bring up the judges at this time, so just give us a moment to bring them all up on stage.
Okay.
All right, so for everyone watching, the judges get 3 minutes to answer or ask questions, so we're going to aim for about 1 question per judge.
Good morning, Inalim. That was a great presentation. I really love your concept. hey, where is this product being used currently? How much of the world is relying on this technology today?
Not a lot, but there are a lot of opportunities when you are buying a new house. Instead of when you install a system, they do ask certain areas for a geothermal system or a traditional unit.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sure, I'll go next. So again, a wonderful presentation, and thank you for prioritizing clean air. I live in Lancaster County, and we have the worst air quality in the state. So I really appreciate you choosing this topic, and thank you for that. So my question is, are you starting with a third-party technology that you're packaging and selling, or are you actually developing the technology? I wasn't real clear on that.
Yeah, so to start out, I was going to partner or have contracts with people to then use the installation, but then start to develop my own and update and start to find out new ways that may not be feasible for those people, but also feasible for my new product.
Great, thank you.
And I want to echo what Alicia and Jen said. That was a great presentation. Comment and a question. One is, you were discussing some of the fundraising numbers you anticipate. I would just keep in mind that this would be a very capital intensive startup, not the software startup, and the capital needs there, just as an FYI. But I'm kind of curious, you brought up water furnace. Do you see any product differentiation between the two, or are you just trying to introduce more competition? How do you see your product different there, and how would you compete against it?
Yeah, so water furnaces is just a competition, just a competitor. As I saw doing this research, they've been in the market for a while, built a very strong reputation. But there are also geothermal systems out there too. But again, when I do those contractors to install a system, I will see the pros and the cons with that system and then try to build it more better, or have more technology in ways so that it can be more sustainable at all locations too.
Yeah, understood. You'll learn as you go. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I can hear you.
Awesome. All right. Do you need to go over the rules again? Or are you good?
Just a refresher.
Cool. So you have 8 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of judges Q&A. If you go over 8 minutes, I will just mute you on the spot. In the interest of fairness, I'm going to do that for every team. So are you ready?
Great.
Awesome. As soon as I hit play, you can go.
We are Volta Panama. Next slide. Before we begin, I just have one simple question. How much do you really know what's going on in the political realm of your country? Do you know who's running for state Congress? If the answer is yes, unfortunately, this is not the same thing that I see in my country. In my country, we barely know who's running for governor. So it begs the question, what is the problem? Is this the problem? No, this is only a small part of the problem. In the next slide, we see next slide. For the past 3 electoral cycles, we've been rotating out of 3 presidents who have been charged with some sort or a degree of financial or political corruptions and have been sentenced to prison but do not face prison time. During the last election, I felt deeply saddened and I was reminded of the institutional corruption, the uninformed population, and no reliable news or information, and a lack of publicly available statistics about problems surrounding politics in Panama. And Panama's not alone. Panama, alongside Latin America, is plagued by these problems. So we came up with a solution. Next slide. That's where Vota Panama comes into play. Vota Panama is a centralized political data hub that is easy to use and allows you to make informed decisions about politics. It's aesthetic and cost-effective and centered around anything related to politics, the government, the judicial system, and the Constitution to foster positive growth and change in Panamanian politics. In the next slide, we see that the main aspect of the app is using a map section, which centralizes the information about localized and segmented concerns, demographic statistics, events, candidates, or elected officials. But this is not the only aspect of the app. In the next slide, we see that users of Vota Panama will be able to inform themselves about local news through the news section, anything related to the legislation or that is passing through the National Assembly, executive decrees in the ministry section, information about the government, the judicial systems, anything related to education in the educational section. And the best part is that they'll be able to ask questions directly to elected official or candidates to hold them accountable, which is something that we lack in Panama. So in order to make this happen, we did target market research. In the next slide, we see that statistical research indicates that 3.004 million people voted in the last election in 2024. Out of that 3 million people, 375,000 people voted for the first time, ages 18 to 23, myself included. And 44% of those 3 million people are independent and are hungry and will for clean and transparent politics, and they're willing to fight for it. And in the next slide, we want to increase visibility about our product, about Vota Panama. So we came up with promotional strategies, which includes word of mouth, which is very effective in Panama, through the line promotional strategies, which includes the use of social media, and above the line, once we have more funds, which include more formal advertisements such as television ads, radio ads, billboards, etc. So our visibility is increased. And we want to grow and scale in order to reach more countries, because why stop at Vota Panama when you can have Vota Costa Rica or Vota Latin America? In the next slide, we see that in order to keep this a sustainable product and a sustainable company, we came up with different diverse revenue models. The first and main one is the subscription cost of $1 per year, which is a cost plus markup, because our company is focused in reinvesting and growing to create sustainable change, not making a profit. And additional revenue sources includes paid partnerships with NGOs for publishing data, ethical use of data with these different organizations, affiliated marketing with sustainable companies and ethical companies in Panama, and donations and crowdfunding from individuals who believe in our vision for a clean and transparent Panama. And Vota Panama has a fantastic competitive advantage. In the next slide, we see that our main competitors are word of mouth, social media, and newspapers, with some minor competitors of television networks, organization, or political parties. But what differentiates Vota Panama is that it's the only app in the market that serves as a centralized hub for anything related to politics. And by incorporating a social aspect to the company and creating a community of like-minded individuals, create the ability to use social media to share information from the app, we can incorporate our quote-unquote competitors to help us grow and help us create sustainable change in a large amount of the population in Panama. And our unique selling point is the ability to use artificial intelligence as a filtering technique for information that is circulated through the app to ensure that we validate the information that we publish. Next slide. We see that as of right now, I'm the sole member that is working on Vota Panama, but that doesn't mean that I'm in this alone. I have a strong team of NGOs and organizations here in Panama that have shown incredible interest in the product, including Movin, Tribunal Electoral, and Consejo Nacional de la Juventud. The Fundación para el Desarrollo de la Libertad Ciudadana, which is an organization in Panama and the rest of the world, has different chapters which will help us scale and grow as a business, but also have resources in Panama to create sustainable information and create partnerships with different organizations to publish the data. Additionally, we have also organized a meeting with Nueva Nación, which is a local newspaper in Panama, in order to create a sustainable news section in the app. This means that with their help, we're able to have a sustainable, ethical, and non-biased and apolitical news section. In the next slide, we see that in order to make this happen, we have to have funds, and we will. And the main aspect of the development of the app right now is through the emphasis of the software development of the app. Then small promotional campaigns will be added to the cost, and research costs will be added. But once we are circulating within the market, there will be a heavy emphasis on advertising and research, as well as having routine software maintenance and development to create the best possible product for the users. And I just want to leave you before I go with one simple quote, because the power is in your vote, and an informed vote can change the world. And Vota Panama is accountability, it is power, it is change, it is the future. And I invite you to join us in creating a sustainable change. Thank you.
All right. And to the judges, Jamal will be guiding you on order this time.
Right.
Thank you for your presentation, Antonio. This time around, Jen, why don't we start off with you for your first question?
Okay, wonderful, Antonio. And I've been to Panama. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, and love that the youth is trying to make the necessary change. And frankly, we could use Vota Pennsylvania for our elections, or Vota Estados Unidos también. So, no, very cool. So one question is, in the use of funds, you kind of talked about certain go-to-market roles. Can you talk a little bit about headcount expansion? So you're a army of one right now. It's a big mission. Can you talk a little bit more about, how many headcount you think you need to accomplish this mission?
Right. And that's what we're at right now, working with the organizations. Eventually, we want to have a board of director, or at least advisors that help the company create a sustainable change. And then, but right now, where the company's at, we're focused in the production and software development. And I spoke to a lawyer from the DC area who specializes in intellectual property and software development. And she said that the easiest part about creating this app is in the development of the app, outsourcing the production. So that's not what I'm worried at. Once we get to the aspect of researching and promotions, I definitely want to work with different organizations here in Panama to create a sustainable team. I'd say I don't have a figure in mind of the workforce or the labor unit in the company, but I can estimate that with 30 volunteers, 35 volunteers, it creates a sustainable team that can create that change.
I would just say one comment is ads don't sell themselves. Platforms don't sell themselves. So I think a key beyond the technology, and I see this all over with adults doing startups, you have to have a go-to-market strategy and be prepared to invest in someone who knows how to sell ads, how to get this in the hands of the people that need it. So,
and hopefully the University of Harrisburg is able to help create that plan, which is getting all the help that needed from professionals who already have gotten their products into market, and helping me create a sustainable plan is going to be awesome, and it's going to be great for Vota Panama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Antonio. Martin, your turn.
Great. Antonio, that was a fantastic presentation. We don't have any elections here today, but you make me want to go vote for something. That's
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's the point. That's the point at the end of the day.
All right. Possibly a two-parter here, but you really made me interested. One, it's the only app in Panama dedicated to politics. I understand Panama is a democracy, but is there, information suppression that's going on there that you are, mindful of, that is making this app sort of more, more value add for everybody, of course. But the second part to that is you were talking about expanding through Latin America, and admittedly, I know there's different governments, different countries, but how do you see this sort of technology adapting to, say, a country where they're not so behind the scenes with their information suppression, or possibly worse?
Right, great. Well, let me address the first question, which is about the news and information, if there's any suppression. And the way it works, sort of to explain, the main newspapers are owned by individuals, and the individuals are often involved in politics or political parties. So it's very representative of their ideals, of the information that benefits the owners or the people involved in the newspapers. And the government also has a lack of transparency about what's going on. It's not even that they want to hide it, it's just they don't have sustainable ways of displaying the information that they collected, which is also another problem. And to put a brief example, it's like Fox is Republican, CNN is leans Democratic. It's something similar, but to a higher extent. And then when you mentioned about Latin America, the thing about scaling the business is we want to start with countries that have similar governmental structures or problems. In Panama, working with Fundación del Desarrollo de Libertad Ciudadana, which has chapters throughout the world, including Latin America. And then we want to target those countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, which have been shown to either be dictatorships or have a faulty democratic system. So it's about growth and adaptability with the help of others, because I can't do it myself.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Alicia, you're up.
Antonio, fabulous presentation, and wow, really pivotal and powerful concept. Really loved your stats on the percentage of very young voters. I think that's really compelling. You know, this could be a very powerful platform. What are your plans for growth? How do you see this product evolving over time? Like, what do you ultimately believe this company could contribute to the world?
Right. Well, I'm going to put examples of different companies that have done what I want to do. What sells is not the product itself, but the community behind the product. And I want the users to fall in love with the experience of getting to know their country, the problems, statistics, information that wasn't available for them. And once I have a strong user base, I want to incorporate a community section for communication, for people to get to know each other, to inform themselves. And then, as I mentioned in the presentation, incorporating social media, because social media is such an incredibly powerful tool. And we've seen it literally change elections throughout Latin America and the United States. So creating a base and an app, a product that brings people together, makes them question, that's the mission. And I want to work towards that. And if that means that that comes with growth or scaling, or if that means with heavy investing into the development of the product, then so be it. But that's the end goal.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right. Next up is Lower Dolphin High School.
Hello, we are from Lower Dolphin High School, and my name is Sammy Gallick.
And I'm Sarah Sells.
And our product is called Solar Boost. Next slide, please.
Our product is a solar-powered phone case with a small and compact solar panel embedded into a flexible and durable silicone case. This invention allows for a phone to be charged only when daylight is present. However, the ability of the case to hold energy in the panel allows for the consumer to have a battery at night. Next slide, please.
Have you ever been about to send a really important text or about to take a perfect picture, and then all of a sudden your phone dies? In the fast-moving world we live in, there is very little time to 1, find an outlet, and 2, stay in the area where it is charging while it is connected to the wall. Many times it's rather inconvenient and sometimes not even an option for people on the go. There are many dangers in the world as well, such as kidnapping or violence, and without any contact to any loved ones or emergency services, people may be in an unsafe situation. If a person cannot call 911, they are left stranded in a rather dangerous and unsafe situation. With Solar Boost, these dangers are gone with longer battery life and renewable power. Next slide, please.
Why is Solar Boost necessary? Because of all these problems and dangers that occur with a normal phone case, it has its major disadvantages with no advantages over Solar Boost. Solar Boost does not require direct charging and is as durable and strong as any other phone case on the market. And how much will be charged? $59.99 with a $10 profit. While we understand our profit is not ideal, we find it very important that our price stays reasonable and affordable to customers. The size of our solar panel costs around $10, and we calculated this with scaling. Our case would cost us $40 to manufacture, and this would leave us with a $10 profit. How will Solar Boost be presented to customers? Solar Boost will be marketed as an eco-friendly alternative to regular phone charging in cases and will be displayed as coming in many colors and patterns. We would use influencers to introduce our product to the public and then release it through media sales and promotions.
Next slide, please. Could we go to the next slide? Sorry, we just read that one. Our prototype would cost us around $30,000, while marketing would cost us $50,000 through influencers and companies. Our working capital would be $80,000. Our patent would be $15,000, and in total, we would spend about $105,000 with 1,000 units. Next slide, please.
Solar Boost currently has no similar products on the market. Our biggest competitor would be iPowerUp. However, through research, we were unable to find many features of iPowerUp, which is not currently available on the market. We could not find pricing information or any of its advantages. Therefore, we struggled to compare ourselves to them. Our advantages include a charger and phone case combined for less money than them sold separately, as well as a consistently durable case. Next slide, please.
So I am currently the president, and I take lead with promoting our product and communicating with our mentors and teammates. And I also strive to promote Solar Boost and its convenience to customers.
And I'm our vice president, and I'm certified in our Word program here, PowerPoint program, and Excel. And I'm great with organization and working as a team, ensuring everyone is on the same page.
Emily is our treasurer, and she's taken several business and accounting classes that make her a great fit for being responsible for the financial aspects of this project. She aspires to be an accountant, which makes her great for this job. Maddie is head of marketing, and she has been successful in running her own business, selling handmade items. She's skilled in making advertisements and videos via social media, and she's also skilled in doing vendor events selling her product. Marketing is crucial to running a successful business. Amber is our social media manager, and she has always been interested in creating her own social media page, providing great pictures and opportunities for people to have photos professionally done. Next slide, please.
Our use of funds would include manufacturing a better and more advanced, efficient prototypes, and we would invest in the marketing and materials for the product. This would be our main use of marketing to expand our knowledge about our product, and it would give us business. We would also purchase a patent and start producing Solar Boost for the world.
We also wanted to show you, we have a prototype, and it includes a solar panel that is on the back of your phone case. And when you put it on your phone, it goes right to the back, kind of like when you do wireless charging, and it'll charge right to your phone. And there's also energy stored in the solar panel while you use it. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lower Dauphin High School. We'll bring our judges back up. Reminder for our judges, we have to, you can ask one question per. I know some of the, you're seeing great presentations. You may have some follow-up, but if we go one question per, that allows us to get everyone in today on time. Thanks a lot. Martin, why don't you begin?
Sure. Great presentation and great idea. I think that message certainly resonates with a lot of people. So I appreciate it. I'm actually going to ask about what you ended on. You said you had a working prototype, or actually maybe a prototype. I'm wondering, is it functional? Is it functional? And I guess even in developing the prototype, what have you learned in that process?
So it's not actually working. It's just kind of a representation of what it would look like. But we learned one that that we would have to put it through the back of the phone. If you saw our competitor, they had a piece on the bottom that covered up the volume and the charging port completely. So we learned through that one, we couldn't do exactly that, and two, it had to go through the back of the phone so that it would allow for charging. But this way, it could also allow for a person to still use their volume and the audio, and also charge their phone through a charging port if they were to choose to.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Alicia, how about you go next?
Hey, this is a fascinating concept. I spend a lot of time indoors. So would this product work for me? Does it have to charge via the sun, or can it charge with any of the lights I have in my interior office?
So it would have to be directly through the sun, but like I said in the previous question, there's you're still allowed, able to use the charging port through the phone. So it might not be as effective for someone that stays inside, but it would still, like, the phone case would still act as a durable phone case, but you would just have to use a charger.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And Jen, it's your turn.
Sure. So again, I've been there with living life on the edge and barely any battery power. So I do, and I spend a lot of time outdoors. So I love the concept. So the solar capture part, I understand that's a component you'll purchase. How it goes to like charge on the phone, is your IP that part of it? Or, you mentioned a patent. Can you talk about like kind of what is unique about your intellectual property?
Yeah, so our patent would protect the fact of the solar power, like the solar panel going directly to the back of the phone, because other competitors, it's mostly that it comes through the bottom. So we would mostly focus on the fact that, one, there is a solar panel embedded into the case, but it also goes directly to like a non-direct charging, kind of like wireless.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you to the team from Lower Dauphin.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is. Sorry, what was that?
I got it, Zach. Quick fun fact: we've had a team from Lower Dauphin compete in all 5 of the launchU competitions. So we really appreciate their support. And Amanda Meese, Miss Meese, does a great job down there getting them prepared. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, we needed to alter the pitch order some. So to the teams, we appreciate your flexibility. Next up is going to be the team from Trinity, and their product idea is called COSI.
Hi, my name is Emma Holloway, and I'm from Trinity High School. Next slide. And I'm with COSI, Swipe, Style, See. Next slide. Now, what is COSI? Well, COSI is an app that will allow you to have a digital avatar of yourself, and that avatar will be completely proportional to you. You'll be able to upload your entire wardrobe into a virtual closet so that you can swipe the clothing onto your avatar and see how the clothing will look on you without even trying it on. This will allow you to create outfits anytime, anywhere. Next slide. Now, how did I come up with COSI? Well, I wake up each morning and I have no idea what I want to wear. On top of that, I have no idea how the clothing will fit on me. After destroying my closet, I finally find an outfit that I like. But I realized I'm already late. I scoured the internet looking for a solution for those like me, but there were none. So I created the solution. Next slide. COSI. With COSI, you're going to be able to save time, save stress, and most importantly, feel better about yourself. Now, on the top right of your screen is what our app will look like. As you open the app, you'll be welcomed, and your digital avatar will be all ready to go. If you want a full body avatar or to edit your avatar, you can choose the person icon located on the bottom right of your screen. If you choose the hanger icon located in the bottom middle of your screen, a page just like to the right will pop up. Here, you'll be able to filter your clothing based on the previous wear or style. You'll also be able to edit your clothing by adding or removing it and have clothing suggested to you. Next slide. Well, our primary market is women ages 13 to 45, based on a statistic that found that women spend 169% more time and money on clothing than men. Our market doesn't stop there. Like, who here has apps? Probably all of you. And who here gets dressed in the morning? Hopefully all of you. Well, that is our market. Now, the graph located on the left shows the total global fashion revenue up into the year 2028. The top black line shows an annual growth rate of 8.64% in the clothing industry, Cozy's primary focus. And this projects a total addressable market of $999 billion by the year 2028. Next slide. Now, with this expansive market, how are we going to target our users? Well, 62% of the global population uses social media, so 40% of our efforts will be geared towards social media marketing. An additional 10% will be geared towards influencer marketing. We want to create a cozy lifestyle that people want to be and stay a part of. Another 10% will go towards our website. Cozy hopes to expand our product line in the future, and in order to house those products, we need a website. Another 25% will go towards App Store optimization. This will allow us to track our return on ad spend and our churn rates to make sure that our ads are working and we're not losing money, because who wants to do that? And finally, 15% will go towards partnership marketing. Cozy wants to partner with clothing brands such as H&M or maybe even your favorite brand. Now, as you can tell, I wear a ton of black t-shirts. So if we have a partnership with any clothing brand, Cozy will recognize that I wear a lot of black t-shirts and suggest black t-shirts from that specific brand. And in return, that brand will market Cozy within their stores. Next slide. In addition to that partnership revenue, Cozy wants to have in-app revenue, which is why we'll have 3 different subscription plans: Cozy Basic, Cozy Premium, and Cozy Family. Now, Cozy Basic is a taste of Cozy. It'll be a free 1-week trial, and you'll have a limited digital avatar. You'll also be able to have custom folders. Now, this means that you're not stuck to just a hat category, shirt category, and pants, but anything that you can imagine. If you want a football equipment category or kooky earrings or religious headwear, you can do that. It's completely customizable to the user. Now, after that 1 week, you'll choose one of our other plans. So Cozy Premium is $9.99 a month, and you'll have a fully customizable digital avatar. You'll also have custom folders. Now, you can have your outfit suggested to you based on the activities that you're doing that day or the weather in your area. You'll also be able to use it to log your outfits or utilize it to pack for trips. Now, Cozy Family is you get 3 premium accounts for the price of one, $15.99 a month, and you'll be able to message in between those accounts. Now, for example, a mother and their child. A mother could say to her child to create his outfit for school the next day. They would go on their device, create the outfit, and send it to mom, instilling life skills such as independence, self-expression, and self-confidence within the child or any other user. Next slide. While Cozy has to offer all of these unique features, as you can tell, our competitors do not. After extensive research of the reviews from our 2 main competitors, Combined and Purple, we've realized what the users wanted but have never received, including a rewards program, custom folders, an outfit logger, and a digital avatar. This is what sets Cozy apart from the rest. We listen to our users and we will adapt to their needs. Next slide. Now, my name's Emma Holloway. I'm the founder and CEO of Cozy. I'm also a senior at Trinity High School. And while I'm a lone entrepreneur, I hope to expand and build a diverse and experienced team in the future. Next slide. This is why 23% of our funds will go towards new hires. This includes a marketing team as well as software developers. An additional 45% will go towards software development. We need an actual prototype. And while this will be a big app, it will make a big impact in the community. Now, later on in the year is where you'll see 7% going towards operational costs. This includes domain fees, patent approval, platform fees, and of course, trademark filing our logo, which you can see on the top left of your screen. Now, finally, 25% of it will go towards marketing and advertising, as I previously mentioned. Next slide. Now, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you using Cozy in the future.
Thanks for your presentation, Emma.
Thank you.
Jen, why don't you begin this round?
Sure. I mean, that was great. I loved how you talked about the addressable market. Um, it is a big market to get to. And you do have, I was happy to see you have, marketing dollars allocated. How do what are your forecasts of like how many users do you want to get the first year? And what's your ultimate kind of pie in the sky goal of chipping into that TAM?
So our ultimate goal is really just to grow the product. I'm not too sure of the forecast numbers currently at this moment, but just turning a profit and realizing that Cozy is an actual possibility would be our main goal right now. If I had to put a number to it, I would say around 100,000 users, somewhere around there. But yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Fantastic presentation.
Thank you.
These apps are really compelling. But you have a feature that I've not seen on any other app, that life skills feature where children can put their own outfit together and then collaborate with mom. That is brilliant. So I think that's a really strong differentiator on your platform.
Thank you.
My question for you, though, is what's your plan to attract new retailers to the site? Because one of the drawbacks of these apps is that often they have a very limited number of companies that you can shop from. And so over time, there's a lack of newness in terms of the outfits that you can create, and that kind of drives people away from the app. What are your plans to attract different retailers?
Well, we hope to have it so that you can just like look up the piece of clothing within your closet through like a database. So as you look up online, like Safari, H&M clothing, you can find their products online. It would be similar to that. And then as we can do that, we can say we can use our numbers to come to the user or come to the retail store and say, hey, we have this many people already looking at your site through our store, and that's how we want to attract the retailers and get them to be attracted to us and stay with us.
All right, great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
And Martin?
Emma, that was a great presentation. Honestly, I don't know how many guys may admit to it, but like, if I had an app like that that was extremely frictionless, that would tell, I would definitely use it. It would save me one last, decision or whatever, in the morning. Which leads me to my question. So it seems like the hardest part of user adoption there may be in how do you catalog your wardrobe, and so do you just take pictures of them, like, and it just like seamlessly kind of goes in, like, I guess in my mind thinking through that whole thing, it does seem like that's where the most friction is. So one, more of a suggestion, just like really focus on that and make it as easy as possible for folks to be operational on it. But also, I'm just curious if you've given that some thought and what an answer, maybe.
Yeah. So as I said, you can just take a pictures of it and like upload it through that, or you can go through like Safari or any sort of like Google Chrome, any sort of site like that, because they already have the measurements within the retailer's website. So it will just automatically upload in the Cozy and be there for you. And then you can just swipe it onto yourself. This also allows us to have an opportunity to use it for online shopping. So if you're shopping and you don't know how this is going to fit on you, you can use Cozy to use your avatar to see how it's going to fit on you that way.
Yeah, like I said, great idea. I appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Emma. That was Trinity High School with Cozy. Next up, rounding out our high school competitors, we will have the team from Hempfield High School, and they'll be pitching their idea, Star Protection.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Michael DeMeo, and I'm with Star Protection. We can go next slide. So Star Protection is actually an acronym that stands for Safety to All Residents. And I picked that acronym because I wanted to encompass what our company is trying to do. And what we're trying to do is prioritize safety. So Star Protection aims to enhance a family's safety through a new and modern upgrade upon the smoke detector. We provide a small detection device that allows any smoke detector to have the same capabilities as a more modern and expensive detector, but at a lower price. So the product is a device that attaches to your smoke detector and then would sense the vibration when your smoke detector goes off. And this would then send a signal to a paired app. And then the app would send a message to anyone else connected to the app, which would be your family or friends, as well as the fire department. So it's really just trying to get a faster response time to things like a fire in the home. As a business, we've been talking about this for a while. We have a little bit of a model. I don't have with me today, but it's about the size of an Apple AirTag, and it would attach to your smoke detector. So also then we would like to sell the product as a subscription-based product. So as a commitment to your safety, we did a bunch of interviews with people and found out that battery length on smoke detectors is a huge problem. So when we sell the product, we would sell it as a subscription and also send you batteries for your smoke detector. So we can go next slide. The main problem that we found is that smoke detectors are important to safety, but are very unreliable, and top of the line smoke detectors cost a lot of money. So next slide. Our big solution was to create an app that's very easy to use and will help connect people to ensure information safety and sharing, or information sharing and safety. So we provide an add-on that can be used to any smoke detector and give a cheap alternative. So we can go next slide. We talk about our sales and marketing strategy. Social media is a platform we plan to use for reaching our target markets. It's tailored around showcasing the importance of fire safety. So we talked about partnering with the fire department and then doing engaging campaigns, talking about fire safety, and then selling our product that way. We can go next slide. So it's around $20 to make is our estimated cost. And then our plan is to have subscription be $5 a month and $55 for the year, which is around, I think, 175% markup. And then the first unit is $15 with any additional units being free. So that's with the physical Star device would be $15 with then any additional units being free. But overall, the subscription for the app and cost for that would be around 55 or 5 for a month, 55 for a year. We can go next slide. Here you can see our competitors. So we have Star Protection here at the top. Talks about the benefits. So really our subscription with $15 plus the subscription is so much cheaper than our competitors. You can see that the Nest is around $100. The Kitty is around $40. The One Link is around $200, and the Geo Dash is around $25. But what we do mainly is we encompass all of the high-tech features of like a Nest smoke detector, which would be, the response to police and things like that in our add-on, which is really, we want to tailor it to people like older people, things like that. So it's very easy to install, easy to use, and you don't have to go out and buy a completely new smoke detector. Then if we go next slide. Here's our original team. This is us in the newspaper. Currently, it's just me. It started out with my friend Peyton and Addie, but it's grown into me, and I continue, and I'm continuing to try and grow the business. So then if we go last slide, our use of funds will be moved towards growing the business through contacting manufacturers and to help making the product. And then as the product continues to grow, I'd love to eventually partner with providers like Amazon to be able to better grow this product bigger and aid in all aspects of the business.
Thank you, Michael. Next, we'll hear from our judges. And Martin, how about you start us off this time?
Sure. Michael, great presentation. I was actually just going through a lot of that calculus, like kind of seeing what products are out there as far as being able to, give you an alert on your phone anyway when something like that happens. So anyway, great idea. I was curious, I was reading through your description. It says that your device picks up the vibration in smoke detectors, which sends it. I guess I'm just wondering, like, I assume it picks up, can pick up very subtle vibrations, but also I guess my point was, do all smoke detectors vibrate? I guess I didn't know that if they do.
It's basically picking up the sound. So we did a bunch of testing with different vibration sensors that we purchased online.
Okay.
Tried them. We found one that works. And yeah, it basically just picks up the sound specifically.
Got it. That'll be my one question, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you. Jan, how about you next?
Sure. Does it pick up the chirping when it's low on batteries? That's the question. Does it tell you
No,
which one?
it does not. But we specifically, I talked about a little bit about our subscription-based method and how we plan to provide a service that provides batteries.
Okay.
So to avoid that annoying chirping from even happening, when you subscribe to our service, when you put in you can put in the day you put in batteries, and then whenever you need a renewal, we will send you batteries in the mail.
That's
Because
great.
that was, we were conducting interviews about, what's your main concern with your smoke detector, and everybody was like, the most annoying thing is when it chirps at me and I don't forget to put batteries in it. So we wanted to make sure that we included that into the service.
Yeah, it's always at 3 in the morning, and you can never tell which one is
Exactly,
chirping. So
exactly. So we want to
great
prevent.
idea. I'll take 2. Thank you.
And
Hey,
Alicia, yep.
Michael, you have a really thought-provoking product. So it made me wonder, um, will I get an alert with the setup that I have right now? So I love that your presentation made me think about that safety element. So we've got furry people at home, and the
Mhm.
furry people have run of the house. And I kind of lost count around the number of smoke detectors that we have in the house because I don't want anything to happen to the fur babies.
Mhm.
So, with your model um, offering free units after the first one, like how do you think that's going to impact your revenue? Because
That
in my we might have like 10 or 12 smoke detectors.
right. That was my discussion with my mentor when we originally talked about it. My idea was to have it so that the first couple of units come free, and then any unit after that is an additional cost. But in his thinking, he was thinking that mainly most people in their home only have 2 to 3. So he was thinking the real money is in the subscription-based method and not really in the sale of units. So he thought that I should focus on that.
Gotcha.
But I will have to conduct a little bit more research into researching how many smoke detectors the average person has in their home. I know personally I only have 2, one upstairs, one downstairs. I probably should have more than that, but that was the thought process in that model. But it's still open to growth and change. So
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
yep.
Thanks again, Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So that wraps up the first portion of our competition. Those were all high school competitors that you heard from this morning. So we'll be moving into the next set. So the next 5 pitches that you hear will be from competitors who are from various colleges and universities, not just across the United States, but also internationally. So our next team up is from the Africa Nazarene University, and their product is called Eco Nasi.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Olivia War, and my team members are Angela and Mike, and we are from the African Nazarene University in Nairobi, Kenya. Today, I'm happy to present to you a solution that will revolutionize the traditional leather manufacturing industry by introducing an innovative, vegan, and cruelty-free leather alternative made from pineapple pulp waste. Next slide, please. We are creating a new type of biodegradable, soil-enriching leather material that is free from chemicals and animal byproducts. Our leather alternative is designed to be more durable than conventional leather while using fewer resources and actually regenerating in nature. Next slide, please. We all love leather, but we're increasingly becoming aware of how unsustainable it is. According to UNEP, making one cow leather handbag requires 18,000 liters of water. This is enough drinking water to cater for one person for 25 years. Making one cow leather handbag produces 80 kgs of carbon 4 oxide, which is the carbon equivalent of charging 18,000 smartphones. And the worst part is that leather takes 25 to 50 years to fully decompose. But this is just one part of the problem. 90% of all leather is tanned using chromium, which is a toxic carcinogenic that causes respiratory diseases such as lung cancer and pneumonia among leather tannery workers. Across sectors, brand leaders are beginning to feel the heat. Kering recently announced that animal leather accounts for a greater impact than all its other materials combined. Lululemon, Balenciaga, and Stella McCartney recently launched vegan leather products, but not all of them are sustainable. Having witnessed the harmful effects of the leather industry, we knew there had to be a better way of doing things. Next slide, please. We have developed a novel technology that converts pineapple pulp waste into a high performance material that feels and performs like animal leather. And we're the first and only company to have developed a technology to do this. Our leather can be dyed, stitched, and customized into different textures and feels. In comparison to animal leather, our material reduces water use by 97%, carbon emissions by 95%, and completely eliminates toxic waste. Next slide, please. Our marketing strategy will focus on content marketing across social media platforms, specifically LinkedIn and Instagram. We will create communication strategies that focus on brand values, mission, vision, and why we stand out. We will also focus on search engine optimization, which will help us generate traffic to our webpage, and finally, attend sustainable material exhibition expos like the Sustainable Angle, which will present a great opportunity for us to market our material. In terms of sales, we will sell our material directly through our website and later on partner with fashion boutiques to distribute our material. Next slide, please. We are a B2B leather material supplier generating revenue through direct sales of our materials. Our material is competitively priced at $30 per square meter. With a production cost of $26, our gross profit is $14, which translates to margins of about 47%. Our startup aims to service the premium leather handbag segment of the leather goods market. With an estimated value of $29 million and a growing demand for sustainable materials, we project capturing 5% of the market share within 5 years. This translates to a serviceable obtainable market of about $1.4 million, considering our current production and capabilities. Next. There are other bio-based leather alternatives using technologies like cultured animal cells, genetically engineered bacteria cellulose, lab-grown mycelium, and lab-engineered collagen cow cells. But what we are doing is very different. We are using a local plant-based waste that is abundant, underutilized, and readily available. We have an efficient production process which makes us more sustainable, affordable, and scalable. In comparison to hide leather, our leather is more durable and flexible, making it easier to work with. Furthermore, majority of vegan leathers in the market are not 100% sustainable. They either contain a synthetic or PU coating, not which makes it not fully compostable. Econasi leather is 100% bio-based and it takes 180 days to fully decompose under certain controlled conditions. Our closest competitor is Pinatex leather that makes leather from pineapple leaf fiber. However, our leather still demonstrates superior properties across all factors. And the best part is that compared to other vegan leathers in the market, our material is affordably priced. So this enables brands to adopt our material into making their products while maintaining healthy profit margins. Next slide, please. And we're the right team to take this forward. Our combined skills and experience stem across social entrepreneurship, finance, and environmental sustainability. And we are advised with a board of experts with over 10 years' experience in fashion and material science. Our lead advisor, who is Mr. Kumar, is a textile expert based in India with over 60 years' experience in the textile and leather industry. Next slide, please. The Africa Business Concept Prize will be crucial to help us scale. The prize will enable us to improve our material, conduct a pilot, and enhance our production technology. We want to invest in the current R&D that we have done on a 100% circular material from a lab stage, which is a 2x2 square, to a pilot scale, which is much larger. So this is what 50% of the funds will be spent on. The other 25% will be spent on R&D investment to improve our pineapple pulp-based formula and experiment with different blends as well. The remaining 25% will be used to upgrade our makeshift set up and improve our production capabilities. So today I invite you all to help us create a world where leather can heal the world rather than destroying it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olivia. This promises to be a truly revolutionary product. Just love your thinking on this. As you think about the 2x2 prototype that you have, you mentioned that your main focus would be in handbags. Where would you see this product going? Are there other extensions? Are there other types of products that the material could be used for down the road?
Please repeat the last part of your question. I didn't get it clearly.
Sure. Are there product extensions beyond handbags that this material could be used for in the future?
Yes, there are other products that can be made using this material, from shoes, belts, wallets. But the reason we decided to start with premium handbags as our primary focus market is because we did our research on leather and vegan leather, and we realized that the demand is more on bags, especially like corporate kind of leather bags that people can use to maybe go to work with. So that's why we decided to focus on bags. But as we grow and expand our production, we will consider brands that are working with products like shoes and wallets and belts. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Jen, how about you go next?
Sure. Olivia, that was a great presentation. I actually learned a lot, and I feel like I need to throw away all my leather goods or recycle them. The question I have is, you said you're going to start with kind of briefcases or work bags or the high end bags. How do you plan on reaching your target customer? So I know you have someone on your team that has some experience with that. Do you know if it's like if, say, Coach, for example, sources their leather through an intermediary and you need to sell to them, or is your plan to sell directly to the retailers?
If I got your question well, I think my internet is a bit low. Your question is how we are going to reach to our target market.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned in my presentation, we are a B2B material supplier targeting fashion brands. So we are going to sell directly. And how we are going to reach these brands is directly contacting them and telling them about our material, and also through sustainable material expos like the sustainable angle. And I think it's important to mention that we actually have right now, there are 60 brands that are actually interested in trying out our material, not just in Kenya. We have been receiving a lot of inquiries from Nepal, South Africa, Nigeria, America, from brands and individual designers who are actually interested in this material. And how we manage to get to them is just by sponsoring our posts on Instagram. So that is how we've been able to get this inquiries. Yes.
Thank you. And Martin?
Yeah, Olivia, that was a great presentation. Thank you so much. Tell me more about pineapple pulp waste. How much is out there? You mentioned you're B2B, so there's other, B2B suppliers doing the same thing. How are you sourcing this? How much do you need for your production? And is that ever going to be a problem for you moving forward?
Thank you so much for your question. So for where we source our raw material, we have partnered with Del Monte, Kenya. Del Monte is one of the largest pineapple processing companies. So we have a partnership with them. They supply us with the raw material, and actually, what we utilize is not even 1% of the waste that they produce. So in Kenya, we have enough pineapple pulp waste to meet demand 100 times over. Yes.
That sounds great for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks again to African Nazarene University and their pitch for EcoNasi. Just quickly wanted to encourage our viewers and attendees to keep being active in the chat. Some people are typing some encouraging messages. That's great. Also feel free to use those emojis and keep that good energy flowing. Next up, we will have the team from Carnegie Mellon University with their business pitch for Blink.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bryant, here with Brian and Brianna representing CMU. Now, I'm a little sick today, so please excuse my voice, but it's very important to us, and I'm excited to share our company today. Slide. So Blink is an app that makes daily decision-making a breeze through a single hub for recommendations. But I don't want to stand here today and tell you what we solved. I want you to be able to feel it. So think back to a simpler time in your life when the weight of decisions didn't exist. When you were a child, you went to the candy store and you knew exactly which one was your favorite. When you felt free. In today's busy world, you long for a way back, a way to make decisions without having to stress. Slide. The paradox of choice. People today are overwhelmed by options. This can lead to analysis paralysis, an increase in the likelihood of bad decisions, or dissatisfaction with your choice, even if you made a good one. 70% of people have given up on decisions because they are overwhelmed by data. 74% say the number of decisions they make every day has increased by 10 times over the last 3 years. And 85% are negatively impacted because of decision fatigue. Nowadays, it is also a burden to make a choice. Your friends ask you where to eat, what movies to watch, what clothes to wear. When you go to the doctors, you're asked treatment A or treatment B. The burden of choice is shifted onto you. Every ad hoc decision we make gives us stress. But what if decisions didn't have to feel like a wall of information? Slide. Blink solves the universal issue of choice overload by making the decisions with you in a single app. It leverages a robust AI to factor in everything from your historical preferences across categories to your risk-taking behavior to create your own unique decision-making profile. So every decision, every choice you make within Blink, whether that's finding a restaurant or deciding on an activity to do, is highly personalized and interacts with each other to influence the next. That's what sets Blink apart. Now, Blink has two central features, suggest and select. Slide. Do you need to find a restaurant or a movie or internship? Suggest allows users to input a certain criteria, and then it outputs 3 uniquely tailored recommendations in a swiping system built from content and collaborative filtering, displaying a small selection of only the very best options. Slide. Need to choose between options like a list of potential jobs. Well, Select uses the user's unique profile created from earlier, refined through those previous choices and preferences to choose the best option for them. In this way, Blink is the go-to for generating faster and better recommendations for easier and stronger decisions. Slide. So far, we've interviewed over 50 potential users and have a clickable prototype for Blink. We're currently in the late stages of developing a launchable MVP for the app. And once this product is completed, we will continue a soft launch on USC and CMU campuses, leveraging word of mouth marketing tactics. In 26, we aim to execute a full launch with scaled marketing and engineering team builds. By 2027, we will invest heavily within these engineering and marketing operations. By 2028, we will have our fully proprietary algorithm and additional features in our product roadmap. And 2029 and beyond will be a full expansion into additional markets such as high school students and young professionals. Slide. Now, in terms of revenue, Blink has a freemium subscription model with an additional ad platform upon reaching a critical mass of users. So our subscription includes access to all category offerings like movies, restaurants, internships, you name it, personal decision analytics, favorites lists, and more. It is a platform greatly strengthened with network effects. So a low barrier to entry for users is our primary goal. Slide. So why is Blink different from the countless platforms trying to carve out a niche in recommendations? Well, it's simple. They're taking a vertical approach to a space that is meant to be horizontal. With restaurants as an example, 40% of consumers are using Google and 38% are using food delivery apps for recommendations. Consumers are searching for recommendations, yet they don't have a central personalized hub for them. And this market is huge. For example, the Likewise app is a niche movie recommendation app with over 6 million users. Chatbots like ChatGPT are adding recommendations too. The reason why Blink wins against Google and ChatGPT is its focus on decisions while cutting out the noise of search. Blink wins against delivery and niche apps because of its use of cross-category data to inform recommendations and gamified systems. Our value proposition is simple: speed without sacrificing quality in a single place. Slide. And our team is built for the task. As the CEO, I have extensive experience in corporate finance, and I'm currently working at Battery Ventures in early and growth stage tech opportunities. Brian, our CTO, has extensive experience as a full stack developer and is currently doing work for Scale AI. Brianna, our CMO, has a strong background in marketing and has led AI research at the Human Computer Research Institute, Interaction Institute. Our advisor, Michael, has decades of experience leading tech and AI first companies. And we'd also love to thank our mentor, Dave, who's been tremendously helpful throughout the process. Slide. So lastly, when raising a pre-seed of $200,000, the majority of our funds will be allocated to acquiring and retaining top talent with a product first approach. At the end of the day, our product is what makes us whole. So the rest of this will be allocated towards product development and our launch on USC, CMU, and surrounding campuses, taking us through stage 1 and stage 2 of our sales and marketing plan. Now, today's world is filled with what ifs and what could have beens, right? Your mind is constantly somewhere else. It's thinking about the future, thinking about the past. So I ask you to slow down a bit, let go of the wheel, and feel the breeze. Choices, they don't have to be difficult. You don't have to live by your environment. You can choose to be curious. You can choose to be free. Just blink it.
Thank you, Carnegie Mellon team. Alicia, why don't you begin this round?
Fascinating presentation, and loved your ending line. So my question is around applications in different audiences. So the world of business is incredibly complicated today. And we're actually working on decision making at the Hershey Company. So do you envision a future where your application could be used in business as well as for personal decisions?
Yeah, we certainly talked about that. And it is something that is slightly more challenging. But it is like, hey, in a perfect world, once we have our perfect algorithm, it would be applicable to business situations. But as you know, there's a lot of liability that comes with it. They're tough and ambiguous decisions that can't always be chalked up to an algorithm, but we can have an algorithm support decision making. So yeah, that is one of our end goals as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Martin, you're up.
Great presentation. If I could, a quick comment and then my question. One, I saw you're raising a pre-seed of $200K. Usually, that would be appropriate for a pre-seed. I'll just say, with this company, I don't know if most people would describe it as a marketplace, but to me, it kind of looks like a marketplace. You're going to need to raise a good amount of money because the power will be in the network that you build, obviously, with your partners and affiliates. I just have a devil's advocate question. You opened up with, you need to start making less decisions and eliminate the clutter and all this stuff. how, I guess, would you address maybe anyone's concerns about this being just another decision? Something else.
Yeah, I could take that. But I mean, for our initial MVP, like the recommendation might not be as strong as we're like leading them on to be at the start, because we're just going to be making simple API calls to pre-existing AI models. But as our company scales and we're able to acquire more talent, we really do believe that we'll be able to like lead a team of engineers to work on making those recommendations as accurate as possible. And our new take on recommendations about making them cross-category is that we've seen through kind of like experience with decision science that Brianna has, that like what you listen to, what movies you watch, they kind of influence what actions you want to take and things like that. So we're really trying to embed that into our algorithm, and then as well as when our team is a lot larger, we're going to be able to use reinforcement learning through human feedback to make sure that those are actually accurate results, and it's not just another generic recommendation algorithm that you've already seen.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to that, Martin, is like, yes, you are still making decisions, but the idea is we'll have a strong enough algorithm where the output is kind of the best ones, right? So then you don't have to go through that process of, yes and no and yes and no. Instead, it will be like the easiest decision that you have to make, right? Because we're not saying don't make decisions. We're saying make less decisions with more impact.
And maybe I should have been more mindful about my phrasing. I meant more kind of as similar to what I was saying before with the one company. It's just the onboarding process, like getting to what your your likes and dislikes are, and that just it takes a while to hone those things in. And anyway, I just want to make that comment. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
And Jen, your turn.
I definitely have or experience on a daily basis decision fatigue. So I do love the thought that goes into it. I think I want to elaborate on Martin's comment. So, there's work that goes into like understanding my decision-making process. How are you going to make sure you don't have like drop off and keep users engaged as you're learning their decision process? Can you talk a little bit about kind of the hook to users while you're getting smart and
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. It's one of the biggest things we're trying to handle. So to start off, and I think Brian can elaborate on this a little more too, is as we said, we're going to start off with kind of a base for essentially like a generalized recommendation system to have like good enough recommendations. And then it's all about building a proprietary database from there. So yes, like at the beta stage, at the earlier stages, we will have those challenges, and it's about taking those challenges, editing and building onto that algorithm to build out a better one as well.
Yeah, and to add on, like I said, like our teams will be doing human reinforcement learning like on our side as well to improve our algorithm, but also our whole like gamified swiping system of generating 3 recommendations at a time. You're not just limited to necessarily 3 as well, but like you can swipe through your recommendations, and at the beginning stages when you're just basically inputting your personality traits we were looking into like the big 5 personality traits to see kind of like your different like how personality can interact with the choices you make. So at the beginning stage, just the default profile, the algorithm's not going to know much about you, but each user can kind of do their own reinforcement learning and teach its own algorithm to learn about what that user specifically likes. So maybe initially the top 3 searches might not be all like the greatest solutions or the greatest results in the world, but over time, within a couple of weeks of using the app and learning from the decisions you've made on the music area and the clothing area and the college area, taking in data from your location and things like that, and also taking in data from your friends on your friends list, then it would just be a lot stronger over time. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. And thank you to the Blink team.
Thank you.
At the coffee shop, if they ask me whole milk, oat milk or 2%, my mind goes blank. So maybe I could use Blink in the future.
Yep.
Next up, we have the Cornell University team. who's going to pitch their company, Strato.
Hello, judges and attendees. Our names are Alex and Andrew Noviello, and we are identical twins, freshmen at Cornell, each studying computer science and math. We are excited to present our startup Strato to you today. Strato is a new centralized trading market for digital tokens aimed at leveling the playing field for active retail traders by eliminating market noise. For a brief background on progress, we've already incorporated, completed a legal regulatory review, filed a provisional patent, conducted dozens of customer interviews, and fully built our product. The Strato market is defined by 3 unique value propositions. Next slide, by the way, sorry. The first is what we call volatility encapsulation. Volatility is one of the main drivers of profits in markets. Retail day traders love higher volatility securities. However, short-term volatility, for example, under 1 minute in time duration, is nearly impossible to predict, let alone capitalize on, for these traders without sophisticated algorithms and robust infrastructure, instead often confusing and derailing strategies. Therefore, the Strato market insulates price from this short-term volatility so that only significant changes in supply and demand affect price, thereby eliminating market noise. This allows for traders to develop more reliable and consistent strategies without sacrificing potential for short-term gains. Second value proposition is information symmetry. All market data and parameters on the Strato market are equally available to all traders, facilitating a level playing field on which success is dictated by active strategy rather than resources alone. The system of market making is also fully transparent in the Strato market. Third value proposition is community. For better or worse, traders don't just trade for profits alone. The experience, whether that be fun, challenge, or something else, is often highly valuable. We strive to build an active and intellectual trading community to discuss and even collaboratively implement active strategy, enhancing the trading experience. We expect to build our community forum on Discord. Next slide. So what's the problem that Strato is really trying to solve here? Well, 450,000 Americans are official retail day traders. Tens of millions more Americans operate active trading accounts, and together they contribute over $2 trillion in annual market volume alone. Yet, according to numerous studies, more than 97% of active retail day traders lose money in the stock market. And that's a pretty staggering figure. Yet 95% of them continue to trade despite these losses. Why? Well, again, we reason that this is due to the intangible factors, such as intellectual challenge and fun. So we designed our aforementioned value propositions specifically to target some of these factors that make competing in the stock market for individuals today so difficult, while enhancing these intangibles. Next slide, please. Prior to discussing our current fully implemented product solution, we'll note that the ultimate goal of the Strato market is to generalize our system towards the creation of a new form of pseudo-equity derivative. However, we will be explaining the system today as it is currently implemented. Please note that it is quite technical and want to keep the focus on the business side, so we'll just explain some of the high-level concepts for now. So Strato is a centralized trading market for trading digital Strato tokens, at least in our beta version. Strato tokens cannot leave the Strato market and have no inherent value. Value is derived solely from demand inside of the market, a la speculation. Strato tokens are exchanged via a mechanism we call the offer queue, a price-ordered priority queue, or ask book for finance people, governed by dynamic spacing parameters. The offer queue enforces a minimum price floor for new offers at the highest price of a token previously sold, while demand exists in the current trading cycle. That's a bit of a mouthful, but in other words, new offers must be priced higher than sold tokens during a trading cycle. When demand eventually and inevitably vanishes in the market, the minimum price floor drops away and the offer queue is refilled. This is called a reset. After a reset, a new trading cycle begins and the minimum price floor is set again to the price of the first new transaction. Resets are triggered by significant changes in supply and demand as measured by the market through 2 statistics, the stabilized queue growth factor and the velocity of the offer queue. So Next slide.
I know that got a bit technical there. So now let's jump back to the business side. So the sales and marketing strategy. Of course, our most significant customer acquisition challenge is actually finding our target customers, right? Retail day traders come from all walks of life and typically have other occupations. So with that in mind, our outreach strategy focuses on finding and utilizing existing active online trading communities of thousands of retail day traders. And we also plan to tap into educational communities related to finance and trading. That being said, our real priority is product-led growth, and we've designed the launch mechanism of the Strato market toward this end. So we're currently in the process of launching our sandbox trading platform in which traders can test strategies, mess around, participate in competitions to earn free tokens with no monetary stakes. We also plan to leverage the network effect by distributing free tokens for joining and for referring friends, similar to the famous Robinhood waitlist strategy. So far, we have about 50, 60 users on the platform and expect to need to reach about 500 before revenue generation.
Next slide. Now, revenue model. There are no cash fees in the Strato market. Instead, each trader must pay a small percentage of their Strato tokens to us as a market-making service fee prior to being able to allow to trade in a new trading cycle. We sell the tokens we receive back into the market to provide liquidity at key points and help re-stimulate the market after resets, thereby generating revenue. This allows us to manage the market function appropriately, easing a so-called sell-side prisoner's dilemma due to demand and supply price gap in the market after each reset, without inflating our own tokens. Revenue is directly proportional to total market volume and number of users on the platform. Next slide.
So the competitive landscape. So existing trading platforms, including Robinhood, E-Trade, and others, have popularized retail trading, gaining tens of millions of users. But the Strato business model is fundamentally different from these competitors, and our competition with them is really only derived from the fact that we have a shared market, shared user base. That being said, most active traders experiment with different types of assets and actively look for new opportunities to deploy capital. So in other words, we don't really have to compete directly with these companies to grow.
Next slide. So our team, as mentioned, we are identical twins and we have a history of building organizations together. We also have a combined 7+ years of commercial software development experience, enabling us to effectively lead technical work. And as we said, the technical work for this product is already done. We now are more focused on the business side. Next slide. Now, use of funds and going forward. We expect to use the funds to continue our outreach, sales, and marketing efforts, as this is our primary current challenge on the way to revenue generation. We have no variable costs, if you will. Amazon, we have credits that allow us to deploy our systems for free. But beyond our existing product, our primary goal and hope for Strato is to be able to trade equities and cryptocurrencies via the same market construction that we've described today. This would basically result in a form of indicator or a store of value over short-term price drops, almost like a smoothing pseudo-equity derivative. We also hope to generalize the system to trade any asset with custom pricing models. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, gentlemen. Jen, why don't you ask the first question?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. So, okay. So one thing I worry about, because I'm old, and you hear these nightmare stories on day trading about people losing their college tuition, and just because you tend to attract a lot of more inexperienced traders with this. Do you have a mechanism built into your platform that allows your customers to protect any downside?
Yeah, so essentially Strato originated as a pretty long thought exercise. We're trying to, it's meant as a particularly interesting intellectual exercise for both the traders and for us as the market makers, designers. As a result, there are a couple of stipulations in place to make it less risky, at least in the beginning. So for the beta version, there's no money stakes at all. So everything is completely free.
Sandbox.
For the sandbox version. So there's no money stakes. People can get their feet wet, experiment, play around, have fun, hopefully learn something, think about quantitative finance in this way. We also then, unlike some cryptocurrency situations that you may have heard of in the past, instead of doing like an initial coin offering where we sell off assets, we give everything away for free because we don't make money by that mechanism. We make money
as a market
maker, trading in our own market to stimulate liquidity at key points. So that's the second stipulation. And the third, and this is for the beginning as well, this may change in the long run, but there's caps on the amount of money that people can keep in their account as a couple $1,000 because we don't want people bargaining their college tuitions on this or anything ridiculous.
In addition to money service business stuff. The key, another important thing, the nature of the market itself, intrinsic to the market, is this idea of passing risk on to subsequent trading cycles. So let's say the nature of the market is the price goes up, when demand ceases to exist.
No, when demand exists.
When as demand exists, price goes up. When demand ceases to exist, the price floor drops, the queue is refilled, and the new minimum price floor is set. Price goes up again. So trading cycles, probably 5-10 minutes or longer in duration each, that occur subsequently. If you are unable to sell your tokens at the end of a cycle as a result of a lack of buy-side liquidity, you retain your tokens to sell in the next cycle. So you have another opportunity, if you will, to recoup your losses. The same sort of principle as the stock market. It's all a zero-sum game. You're passing off risk to the next guy.
So, and there's actually two types of strategies in this market. There's both micro and macro. So you can have strategies inside of cycles. But then we also expect most people to be trading primarily based on macro trends. So the peak prices of the cycles themselves, which will be influenced by economic situations,
Like the stock
just
market.
like the stock market.
Yeah.
It's very
Sorry.
similar.
Sorry, that was long-winded, but hopefully that got it.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I was saying we have to. I know you guys are twins, but I'm sorry, I have to limit you guys to one answer per question. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Just in fairness to the other teams. Martin, how about you go next?
Yeah, guys, that was a great presentation. I could ask you 55 questions right now. I'm just going to ask you a really broad one. You said this came out of a thought exercise. What was the basis of the thought exercise?
Yeah, so Alex and I, obviously, we both worked in commercial development. We're freshmen in college, but we've worked in commercial development for a while. And we used to mess around doing like algorithmic trading for fun, trying to develop strategies. It's tough, even with some very, very complicated math, to have pure algorithmic, like no human intervention strategies to predict this very short-term volatility is basically impossible, at least in our experience. I'm sure there's some whizzes out there that can do it, but not us, not most retail day traders. So that's what sort of sparked us thinking about how can we smooth this short-term volatility in a way that doesn't eliminate opportunity and enhances the intangibles.
I can't answer too, right?
Yeah, no. Sorry, Alex. No.
No, I'm sorry. You have to get to the next one. And Alicia, you're next.
Wow. So this is a really impressive product. Well, clearly, you put a lot of thought into this. You know, at the Hershey Company, data is kind of the foundation of everything that we do. And some of our folks use Python, and Python is known to have really slow run times. Excuse me, and it's weak for mobile computing. So have you thought about that? I saw that you're using Python in your application.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. So as he said, Andrew and I used to work for a software company for a couple of years. We built the whole system on AWS, so it's what's called serverless. Our backend APIs are serverless, event-driven, basically. So Python is actually the best language for that. There's also something called cold start times.
Other than C or something.
Other than
like that.
yeah, I'm not sure if Lambda even has that, but basically, the idea is that you can have an event-driven architecture that quickly responds to things, and Python is the best for that. So this is on powerful computers. Latency is actually a significant thing here. It's something that we've designed the market with latency in mind, because obviously trading is all about that, right? This is why we have the offer queue. Buys must happen in real time. The offer queue, you list assets on it. So it's essentially finite. It's finite liquidity at all times. And we have mechanisms in place that queue buys, simultaneous buys, basically, that manage latency issues. But we use Python for the latency, the event-driven cold start time stuff. So.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you to the Strato.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next up, we will have a pitch from the team from Drexel University, and their company is called iGen Mentor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anjan Kumar, and I'm an international student in the US from India. When I decided to study abroad in 2019, I had no idea about the process. But after 1.5 years of hard work, which majorly included connecting and talking with college students who were already studying abroad, I received admission offers from more than 20 US universities in 2022. And that's when I connected with my co-founder, Prakhar Pare, who was in the similar boat as mine, and I personally helped in his application process. Though he had already convinced his father to go to an expensive study abroad consultancy, I told him not to do that. And he ended up receiving admission offers from 15 US universities. And that's when we both decided to start iGen Mentor to help other students like us who want to study abroad but don't know how. Till now, we have mentored more than 200 students, and around 150 students have bought our services and courses. But now, we want to build a platform that will directly connect study abroad aspirants with college students who have already navigated the path. And that is what our business idea is. Next slide, please. iGen Mentors platform will offer a seamless interface for study abroad aspirants to connect with college students who have successfully pursued education abroad. Through the platform, users can browse profiles of mentors, filter based on criteria such as destination country, field of study, or university, and even schedule one-on-one mentoring sessions. Mentors will provide personalized guidance, sharing their experiences, insights, and practical tips on various aspects of studying abroad, including the application process, standardized tests, visa procedures, and more. Since we will operate in the international education market, as we can see in the chart, the international education market as of 2024 is of 297.6 billion US dollars. And this is growing at a CAGR of 7.4%, and which will be 400 billion US dollar market by 2030. It means it is a market with high potential. Next slide, please. The major problem we are solving here are the problems with study abroad consultancies. Now, the process of studying abroad has three separate phases. Number one, first is getting admission to a foreign university. Number two is arranging for the funds. And number three is receiving the proper visa. In short, it is a complicated procedure with several moving parts. And therefore, parents and students decide to seek help from study abroad consultancies. And this is where things go wrong. These consultancies will charge you somewhere between 10,000 US dollars to 13,000 US dollars in India for a simple service for a few months, and not everybody can afford it. These education consultancies have already partnership with few universities, so most of the applications they handle go to these universities and they earn commission on this, which ultimately decreases the chances for applicants for other options. And a major setback is that the applicants learn nothing from the process. Number three problem is disintegrated tutors. When I was reaching out to college students for guidance, one interesting thing I found out is that every student I reached out to was acting like a tutor. Means they're helping other students, but at the same time, they're also charging for what they're providing, mostly on an hourly basis. Next slide, please. How our platform solves this problem. Common platform. Our platform will serve as a common ground where students can connect with mentors of their choice. Through our intuitive interface, students can browse through a diverse pool of mentors, each offering unique expertise and rates. This common platform will ensure convenience, efficiency, and affordability. Since students can choose their mentors, they will get the guidance they need at a price that fits their budget. By leveraging technology and peer-to-peer mentoring, we eliminate the need for exorbitant fees. Moreover, with iGen Mentor, these enterprising college students who have been acting as tutors now have a platform to expand their reach and impact. By joining a community of mentors, they gain access to a larger pool of aspiring international students who are seeking their expertise. Not only does this provide with a platform to showcase their skills and knowledge, but it also opens new opportunity for them to monetize their services on a broader scale. Next slide, please.
So as my co-founder stated that we have been mentoring over 200 plus students since last 2 years. We have precisely been on YouTube and other social media platforms to market about iGen Mentor. We have been over 98,000 plus views on YouTube where we have provided application process to help the international students and how to enroll to iGen Mentor services. We are being on social media like LinkedIn and Instagram where we are providing posts about our services so that student can reach out to us and talk about their application process. And sometimes we are also reaching out to students personally to let them know about iGen Mentor. We are also trying to strategize partnership with universities to promote our curriculum and events that we're going to have in our iGen Mentor platform. Next slide, please. So our revenue model consists of subscription, value-added service, and strategic partnership. A subscription model has two plans, which is basic plan, where student will get access to a platform to connect with a college student, and second is premium plan, where a high school student will get access to a platform to connect with many numbers of college students to know more about the college application process, where he can chat with the college major student and also get on the call with college students so to discuss about the college application process. Second is specialized packages and premium access, premium content access. Third is strategic partnership with customized language programs. So let's say if there's a student from a certain region and he wants to get connected with another mentor who is also from a certain region. So there's going to be a no language barrier if they both can get connected and discuss about the college application process. Next slide, please. So when we talk about competitors, we have collected data from internet which shows that the exponential growth of international students coming to United States since last years. In last 2 years, we can see that the numbers have increased from more than a million students coming to United States every year. What we are providing that is different from other consultancies is real-time availability, streamlined booking process, and as we stated that there is no common platform yet, so we are going to be there's going to be no competitors for our platform. Next slide, please. Our team consists of 4 people, where Anjan and I are the co-founder of iGen Mentor, and Abjana Bhandari and Grace are going to be the marketing head of our platform. Next slide, please. So our funds are distributed towards product development, which consists of 40%, marketing and sales consist of 30%, and talent acquisition, that is 20%. And the rest 10% of the funds will be distributed towards the miscellaneous costs and unknown expenditures. Thank you so much, and we're open to any questions.
Thanks for the presentation. It's really a fascinating concept. You know, everybody needs a mentor or a couple of mentors. My question is on price. So at $19.99 a month, it feels kind of pricey for high school students. How do you compare the price of your model to firms that might help connect students organically?
So with those firms, what we have figured out, specifically, since we have no competitors, nobody does this. And with those firms, you found out that you have to, like in India specifically, with my experience, you have to pay somewhere around 5,000 US dollars just to get a basic subscription plan or basic service for a few months. So a $19, which is around $20 per month, is far less than what they can achieve on our platform.
Gotcha.
So
thank you.
Jen, why don't you go next?
Sure. So I love solutions that are based out of a need. And so it feels like you've lived this experience of figuring out how to go to school abroad. So real cool idea. So my question is around kind of expansion. So it seems like it would be very challenging to start like in every country, and because you'll need to find mentors specific to those countries. I'm not sure if you're paying the mentors, but is your intention to start with India and grow out beyond that? Can you talk a little bit about how you plan to expand to other regions and what that growth looks like?
Yeah. So the answer to that would be the mentors that we are going to hire are actually going to be college students. So how we will help them is that if they come on our platform as a mentor, they can actually get paid for what they provide. So actually coming on our platform will provide them with a broader market of international students who want to go abroad. So this will at the end of the day will promote them as well to and emphasize them to come on our platform as well. So this is the major how we are going to market it and how we are going to increase it. And the best thing about this education industry is that it is growing at a very rapid rate. It is going, as I said, it is going to be a 400 billion US dollar market by 2030. So it is obviously a very, has a it is a high potential market. So yeah.
Thank you.
And Martin, you're up.
Hey guys, great presentation.
Thank you,
tell me if I'm wrong, but you're kind of talking about this product as a B2C play. I was thinking more of it as a B2B2C play, with the middle one being colleges. It seems to me that the best way to get this out would be through the colleges and some of their ambassador programs and things like that. I'm just kind of curious how you have thought about that, in addition to the other ways you want to reach the market.
So we are also planning to go that way as well, B2B and B2C as well. So with B2B, as you were saying, we are planning to do strategic partnership with universities. So we are reaching out to universities and letting them know that they can come on our platform, market themselves, and as I said, as Prakhar said, they can promote their curriculum and events, which will eventually help reach out to broader community of students who can get more information about these universities, which are basically promoting them on a platform. So we are also doing B2B and B2C as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all once again for your presentation.
Thank you, Jamal.
Okay, and our final competitor today will be the team from Harvard University and their pitch for Mab Lab.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sky Lamb, and I am representing my startup MabLab from Harvard University. Next slide, please. Last year, we lost a close friend to a drug overdose. Her drugs were laced with xylazine, a dangerous additive very similar to fentanyl. But while fentanyl test strips have been effective, they fail to address the evolving landscape of new lacing agents left undetected by current products in the market. Our friend never could have known. Next slide, please. So here at MabLab, we're now on a mission to prevent all overdoses from laced drugs. Next slide. To put more context behind the ongoing overdose epidemic, more than 109,000 deaths occur because of laced drugs every single year. That's one overdose every 5 minutes. The problem is that 91% of these deaths could have been prevented with a solution like MATLAB. As mentioned before, the main focus in the media right now is on fentanyl as the leading lacing agent, but less emphasis is placed on additional lacing agents like methamphetamine, benzodiazepine, xylazine, and methadone that, when combined, actually account for more deaths than simply just fentanyl. And these 4 additional lacing agents are currently left undetected by products on the market. Next slide. So here at MabLab, we're tackling the overdose crisis using our 5-in-1 test strip design, giving users a result with 99.5% accuracy. We're using an established method of monoclonal antibodies, which is the same underlying tech behind COVID-19 tests and pregnancy tests, where you have that familiar control and test line. Or fast acting. All we require is 1 milligram of the drug to give you a result in less than 3 minutes. Next slide. So for more information about how it works, all you need to do is sprinkle a small sample of the drug into the provided buffer solution, very similar to COVID tests. Stick our test strip in, wait for 3 minutes, and if your test strip is positive, you can scan a QR code on the back of our test strip packaging to find more information about hospitals near you, but also what to do if your test is positive for any of the lacing agents. Next slide. Moving over to our competitive advantage, our patent covers novel multiplexing techniques on a singular lateral flow device, and we're able to do so by overcoming the problem of cross-reactivity, which is where something tests positive for something it shouldn't. With our current IP, we could also expand to different applications, like testing for sexual assault prevention with rufinol and ketamine, but also testing for common allergens. And finally, we are the 100% owners of our IP and are not affiliated with any university tech transfer office. Next slide. As mentioned before, we are the only ones on the market who could test for more than 2 lacing agents on a singular device. And more about our unit economics, we plan to sell each test strip for $3 at a 50% profit margin. We also offer limited regulatory risk. As a Class 1 exempt medical device, we do not require any FDA regulation, and we have limited technical risk as we've been working with top university scientists at Harvard and Columbia. Next slide. And now over to the competitive landscape. Our biggest competitor right now is a company called BTNX. And what they produce are single lacing agent test strips, namely for just fentanyl. And just for reference, they sell about 40 million test strips every single year. But at the exact same price point, you can instead purchase MabLab's test strips, which are 5 times more comprehensive. Next up is Confer Biosciences, and what they are is a post-exposure test as opposed to us, which is a pre-exposure test. And the way to describe that difference is a post-exposure test is something you take after you overdose. So to use Confer Biosciences, after you overdose, you could pee in a cup to see what's in your system. But it's not helpful at all if you don't prevent the overdose in the first place, so prefer a more preventive solution like MabLab. And finally, forensics proficiency testing, what they offer is max spec services. So you could send in a sample of your drug to a remote lab, wait 1 to 2 weeks, but also pay upwards of $500 per test, which is not at all accessible to the recreational drug user. Next slide. For that reason, we're going B2B, partnering with universities, harm reduction organizations, as well as local and state governments who will buy our test strips in bulk and then hand them out to the communities they serve at no cost. Next slide. And the way we do this is through direct distribution. So right now we're sourcing as many letters of intent to join our waitlist for our test strips. And then after our launch, we plan to go to third-party distributors like McKesson, Cardinal Health, who can add our test strips to their website. And with a click of a button, anyone in the community can add our test strips in bulk to their cart. Next slide. After initial B2B traction, for anyone who doesn't fall into one of those three buckets, we also plan to expand to go D2C through our website or via Amazon for customers like universities, family members of drug users, law enforcement, as well as organizers of music festivals. So tons of new customer bases to open up here. Next slide. And for our sales and marketing plan, we are leveraging the existing solutions that currently center around fentanyl. So, for example, the image on the left is a digital campaign targeted towards parents. And what we could do on MabLab is simply expand the focus on fentanyl to instead the 5 deadliest lacing agents in drugs. And on the right is a photo I took on the New York City subway with advertisements for fentanyl test strips, which we could also market instead to our 501 test strips. Next slide. Looking towards our market size, our TAM is $128.7 billion. That's consuming the 275.5 million drug users all across the world. But scaling down to our initial beachhead of $1.5 billion, that's only 20% of drug users in the USA who have used drugs in the last month and are likely to purchase a test strip once a week. Again, this space is historically underfunded and underutilized, so tons of innovation and tons of market share to bring up here. Next slide. We also took the product to the market for initial product market fit, where we interviewed over 300 recreational drug users. 79% expressed concern about more than just fentanyl, which really validated our value proposition of having multiple lacing agents, and 88% expressed interest in using our test strips if offered. We then brought the conversation over to the customers, the B2B stakeholder organizations, where 94% expressed interest in using our harm reduction tool on their campuses and their local communities. And on the right are some of our key partners. Right now, we have over 80,000 test strips using our LOIs for our waitlist, including partners like the Harm Reduction Action Center, as well as Brown University. Next slide. So why now? Number one is the recent legalization of drugs. Our thesis is that new opportunities will emerge surrounding drug education and drug safety, specifically through harm reduction tools like ours. Next is the recent injection of public funding, where back in 2022, $26 billion was allocated to local and state governments to purchase harm reduction tools like test strips. Bringing the conversation back closer to home, the state of Pennsylvania just last year purchased more than 400,000 test strips for the community. That could transfer over $1.2 billion of revenue on our team. And finally, personal ties. Today, 40% of Americans know someone who's overdosed on laced drugs, so the time is now to put an end to the overdose crisis once and for all. Next slide. Using our 5-year projection with 80,000 test strips and LOIs at $3 per test strip, we have initial $240K in year one revenue. Next slide, please. And our ask is simple. All we need is 2.5K that will allow us to continue with product development to produce 500 additional test strips for our product testing. Through the funding, you could invest in a sound business and save lives at the same time. Next slide. Finally, this is our team. I previously generated over $1 million in sales revenue at Harvard state agencies, and my co-founder is really experienced on the scientific side, conducting research at Harvard and Columbia on monoclonal antibody development. Our team includes postdocs. We're currently working at the Polyco Harvard Life Lab HBS to develop our test strip, and our business team is helping us gain additional letters of intent. Finally, Carly is our marketing lead. She's pretty famous on TikTok and also a colleague of mine at Harvard, so helping us reach to a new Gen Z audience. Next slide. Thank you so much, and I'm more than happy to answer any further questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Wow, your opener was so powerful. Love your concept and your product. How do you plan to reach out to underserved communities who might have more need for this product? What are your plans for that?
Yep. So at the same time as we were developing our test strip, we're also trying to find out which communities have the most overdoses, as well as which lacing agents they're overdosing on. So to do that, we're going through our letters of intent, basically adding more people to our waitlist. So targeting those communities specifically through their harm reduction centers, if they have any local universities, but also the local and state governments. We find that as students ourselves conducting this initial market research, it's really easy to start off those conversations there. So hopefully doing as much outreach as we can to members of these communities and really putting our test strips out there to see what they think, as well as bringing it back to our team to see what we can iterate on to improve.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Martin, you can ask. You can go next.
Scott, that was fantastic. My first note was that's quite a mission, and you actually delivered on it through the film.
Thank you.
That was great. I guess I'm gonna flip this back on you. What have been your biggest hurdles in not the not the IP, but I guess in moving the product forward, whether it's raising money, regulatory issues, anything like that. I'm curious what have been the biggest reasons.
Yeah, so thankfully, no regulatory issues on the FDA side. We're currently applying for a Massachusetts control license, which basically allows us to purchase things like fentanyl, xylazine from the DEA for product testing. But I'd say the biggest issue right now for us is just raising the funds. We find that a lot of VCs, especially the major ones, don't really focus on anything health tech or don't want to touch anything related to the opioid crisis. So that's one of the problems for us, just because it's an underutilized and underfunded sort of topic to focus on. But we're looking for angel investors now, also micro VCs who may be positioned more so for healthcare technologies, but also someone who might have a personal connection to the overdose crisis themselves. So looking towards that route to rate our first round.
Got it. Thank you.
So, my next. Okay. So first of all, sorry for the loss of your friend, and thank you for the work you're doing. And just a side note, you might want to look at some federal, like ARPA H grants, or some.
Okay.
There might be some grant money available. So my question is on one of your data points was the importance of testing for recreational drug users, and I do understand that. Do you have any data on habitual drug users? Are they bothering to test, or are they just so excited to have their hit that they're not testing it? Like, I'm curious to see if there's data points on willingness to test from habitual drug users.
Yeah, so there's actually been some studies through the use of fentanyl test strips specifically with those habitual drug users.
Yeah.
And that's specifically through the use of the fentanyl test strips.
Mhm.
So currently, through the harm reduction organizations, once people realize that fentanyl test strips exist, they're 80% likely to use it again and again.
Okay.
So
So
right
not
now, the
quite
most
as
important,
high as recreational,
mhm.
but still meaningful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job to all of our contestants.
Yeah.
If you're still here, watching in, our viewers, please show them some appreciation. Yeah, let's see some claps, hearts, comments in the chat. You can put emojis and GIFs in the chat as well. There's some different features there for you to just to show your appreciation to the students who've put in a lot of hard work, really since the application process and moving forward. So next, at this time, our judges will step out of the room and make a very tough decision here. And we'll be awarding a best high school, best college, and a best overall. So those will be the results that we'll announce here at the end of our event. During this time, we have a couple of things that we like to do with our audience. One of those is our fan favorite vote. So next, you'll be hearing from Zach just briefly. He's going to explain how we'll activate this fan favorite vote. So Zach, take it away.
Sure. So this vote is going to be split up into 3 sections. We're going to do best high school, best college, and then we're going to take the 2 winners from that and put them into a final fan favorite poll. So first we're going to do high school, then college, then the finale, and this will be going on while Michael does the interviews. If you guys have any questions about the polls or anything, please feel free to put them in chat, and I'll flash a message on screen when we're switching polls. I plan to leave them up for about a minute each.
Okay, thanks, Zach. So again, you'll be able to participate in that voting as we move forward into our next piece of programming here. So at this time, we typically like to bring back some of our previous contestants that have participated in launchU in past years. So it gives us a chance just to catch up on them and kind of see where they are now. So Michael Hughes is our CIE's Business Development Manager. He will be speaking with Aiden Byler, whose pitch was called Garden Stat. He was our best high school winner in 2023, along with Isaiah Bretz and George Clements. They are Harrisburg University students, recent graduates. Congrats to them. Their company is called Core 3D. So please listen in and enjoy a short conversation with them.
Thank you, Jamal, and thank you, everybody, for joining us today. As Jamal said, our judges have a pretty tough job today because that was some spectacular presentations. And today, we'd like to talk a little bit about your involvement in the program, Aiden, George, and Isaiah. And the first question I want to ask you, and Aiden, we'll ask this to you first, is can you tell us a little bit about your experience in launchU last year and what it meant to you?
Yeah, so last year I was a senior at Hempfield High School, Go Green Saplings. So really loved that program there, and we had a small entrepreneurship course that was there. But what launchU did is really help us to really dive into our product and get a much better understanding. So what I really love about it is, first off, my product is Garden Snap, and it's a modular raised garden bed. So think of it like a raised garden bed made out of Lego bricks, where you could customize it to make it any shape, any size, really targeting people who have a smaller area in their home but still want a raised garden bed. So that product was really unique. And what the launchU helped with was really thinking of the whole business plan. So focusing on all the aspects, getting the customer research, what's the market size, all that stuff that I wouldn't have thought about on my own. So it really provided a really detailed outline, which helped me to get a better understanding of my product and help me move forward with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Aiden.
Yeah.
How about you, George? What was your experience like for the last launchU?
Can you hear me, sir?
We can.
My experience from the launchU event was just amazing with the company. It really helped us, I believe, as Core 3D, just get that sense of knowing what we need to do, knowing what we need to do further. I've come from, of course, Harrisburg University. I am not a business major. I am an interactive media major. The whole business field is something I never thought I would dabble in. launchU was able to show me how that would work in making a startup, and I am just glad that I had the opportunity to work with that.
Awesome.
I don't know what Isaiah would differ from my experience, but that would be mine.
Isaiah, how about you?
Yeah, I might as well jump in. So, I think it was a tremendous experience for me. First time actually getting I would say, serious business started. I've done a lot of side hustling growing up, just trying to make some money, from lemonade stands to mowing lawns. It was really interesting hearing other people's ideas, and I love thinking about like how they're going to develop their products, and I hope to meet some of these fine people. I hope to talk to you at some point, Aiden, about your idea if you ever want to talk about tech stuff. But yeah, I love technology, and so I saw business as a way to do that, and CIE makes it really awesome. It creates a great environment for that. Since we've kind of partnered with CIE since the competition, I've been able to help out with other businesses doing the exact same thing. I really like doing it. It's very exciting for me. It's just something I'm passionate about, and so. Yeah, honestly, the launchU event, it actually kind of humbled me because George and a couple of other friends have been in the CIE program, not like for launchU specifically, but we've done events related to that and have won a lot of them. This is the only one that we haven't won first place in. We still got something, but we didn't win first place, and that was a good experience for me because I was getting too much of a big ego winning all the time. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, now I'm going to ask you guys a different question. Aiden, we'll start with you again. You had a wonderful idea. Can you tell us what has occurred with your concept since you actually did the launchU last year?
Yeah, so with some of the funding money, I was actually able to put that towards, what would it cost figuring out how we'd actually manufacture it. And unfortunately, we discovered it was going to be about $40,000 or $50,000 to really, make it to where it should be. So I kind of stopped with the Garden Snap idea at this point, but the same principles I learned, I've actually applied to a few other businesses I have. So the main one I have is a marketing agency based in Lancaster County, focusing on digital marketing for Amish-owned businesses. So again, what I learned with launchU is how you find a problem and then really find a need that can fulfill that problem. So the problem I saw with this company is, hey, Amish people don't know how to use a computer, how to use phones, social media, and how can I add value to their business with this company? So while I'm not really working on Garden Snap a whole lot, I really am using that same skill set to help with my other companies. And the other key thing I really love about this program is the mentorship aspect. That was something that was incredibly valuable for me and my team, is really going to meet with a professional, see what it's like in that environment, get guidance on how to improve. And again, that is something I still do with all the other companies I'm involved with.
Awesome. All right. This time, Isaiah, we're going to have you answer the same question first. Tell us what's going on with your venture.
So when we first started out, we didn't really have anything. And again, none of us were really business majors, so none of us really know how to run a business at the time. And so we learned a lot of it on the fly, like we normally do with a lot of things. We've also learned a lot from going to the events that actually CIE will host a lot of times. They'll have like guest speakers to talk about marketing, sales, how to kind of get into these general practices that most businesses are going to need to know how to use. And I've benefited a lot from that. Personally, Print3D, or sorry, so we originally entered as Print3D. We've changed to Cord because of filing reasons. So because someone already has that name and they won't give it up. So we've had to change our name. We've also developed the website and it's nearing completion. And we've gotten a new 3D printer because over the duration of the time we've had our original printer, it died. And we're actually fulfilling orders right now as we speak. So we've already got customers coming in. And yeah, I'm excited for how it's going to grow in the coming year.
Awesome. George, I'm going to ask you a quick question, a different question. In this journey that you guys have taken to continue to build forward your company, what's been the most challenging thing that you guys have come up against from your opinion?
That's a very good question. I mean, personally, I think the most challenging thing we have come up with is just the fact of trying to put the pieces together on what to do. Business is not our number one thing. 3D printing, it's a pain in the butt, but you can learn it. But with business, there's so much technicality in it that when you're trying to, make sure everything is perfect, your pitch deck, your business risk and reward document, there's so much detail and the nitty gritty, as I like to call it, that you got to put into it. That has been one of our most difficult things to do. Luckily, CIA is helping us go through that process, because without them, we would be stranded at sea. They're pulling us in and leading us into the right direction. And as we work along with them, this challenge that we are struggling with is a lot more bearable than dealing it by ourselves.
Interesting. Very interesting. Great insight. Aiden, a different question for you. If you had to give anybody advice who is just about to do these programs or just starting their new idea, what advice would you give them?
I would say just go for it. If I could go back to high school right now, I would make a list of every single business pitch competition, any type of public speaking thing, and just make a list and do it as many times as you can. Because the first time you do it, you're not going to be good. You'll be all right, but you'll just keep getting better. And I love how, this teaches sales skills. This teaches you how to put your idea out there, how to convince others it's a good idea, and eventually why people should give you money for your idea. And it's just something like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And I think the sales aspect, being able to clearly articulate your idea and your business, is something that'll benefit you for the rest of your life. So I would encourage people to take advantage of opportunities like this, where for free, you can get advice, you can win money, you get to network. Look at all these people on the call right now. Go on LinkedIn, connect with them. You never know when that relationship will help you in the future. So just take advantage of all the opportunities you have. That's what I would say.
Aiden, thank you.
Yeah,
and George, thank you as well. It was a wonderful conversation. And now we're going to move to the next stage of the presentation. Jamal.
Congratulations, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you all. Thanks to Aiden, George, and Isaiah for coming back and giving some time to us. Just wanted to, let them know, and anyone who's watching, that our relationship with these students, it doesn't end at the end of the competition. We typically try to follow up with them a little bit over that next year or so, just to, be available as a resource and, to offer any, additional help that we can. So appreciate you guys coming back and being part of this today. Moving into our next segment here, while our judges continue to make some decisions, a very important piece of the launchU experience is the mentoring. And you probably heard, some of the competitors and also our former competitors talk about that mentoring. So what happens after our finalists are selected to this program in March, near the end of March, is they're paired up with a working professional. These professionals come from various industries, and over the course of about 5 or 6 weeks, up until the pitches are given, they are mentoring, coaching, providing guidance and resources to our finalists in preparation of their delivering that pitch today. So we're fortunate to have a couple of our mentors join today and wanted to say a few words about their experience with launchU. So each of them will have about a minute or so just to make some comments. So first up, we have Dustin Betts, who is the Director of Operations with White Rose Ventures. And Dustin mentored the Mab Lab team from Harvard University. So if we could bring Dustin up, and there he is.
Hey.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. So impressed by all of the teams that presented here today. As you mentioned, I was paired with Sky, who presented last in the Harvard team. And obviously, social entrepreneurship's often, I feel like, talked about, but rarely, I think, demonstrated in a way that this particular team has such a clear vision. It's so clear how they can really marry, I guess, profit with impact, profit with purpose. And so it's been a real privilege for me, I think, just to see what these very young and very impressive people are building. And so I'm personally inspired by it, and I hope that other student entrepreneurs are inspired as well to go out there and build something meaningful in the world. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll hear from Sherry Collins. Sherry is a person we consider a friend of our program. Sherry has been a mentor for each of these launchU competitions and really just been a great supporter and giving her time and her expertise to these students. So we'll bring up Sherry, and happy to hear from her.
Jamal, thank you so much. Apologies, no camera available this afternoon. I've been bouncing between different pieces of technology to make sure that I've had a chance to listen to every one of these pitches. Simply amazing. I think each year that I have participated in this program, I walk away completely blown away by what these younger students are preparing and presenting. I had the pleasure this year of serving as a mentor for the Lower Dauphin team, and I think that they did a fantastic job. I shared with Sammy that just the fact that they took the initiative to step out and do something like this, participate in a program like this, already demonstrates the capabilities that they have. Oftentimes, it's a lot easier to sit behind a camera and not get involved. But these students, every single one of them, have really stepped out. And I think that they're all going to do just really great work in the future. It gives me hope. They're inspiring. It also makes me wonder what in the world I was doing in high school, and also wish that, programs like launchU would have been available to us. I just want to thank your sponsors. As you said, I've been involved in launchU for a number of years. I hold you and Jay and the rest of the team in the highest of regards. I think that you're doing phenomenal work, and just really want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue to participate in this program, and certainly appreciate you all as partners at Harrisburg University.
Thank you so much for that, Sherry. Thanks for your comments. And again, thanks for your continued support of not only our program, but more importantly of these young entrepreneurs. Next up, I had some comments I wanted to read from another of our program mentors. He was unable to join us today. I believe he's probably on a plane somewhere over the United States. But Ennis Mosley, he was the mentor for iGen Mentor. And he says, it's always a pleasure to be welcomed back to the CIE launchU program, and an extremely pleasurable experience to meet the next ambitious wave of problem solvers and entrepreneurs. Briefly about himself, Ennis is an account director for Otter Products, supporting the relationship with 3 major wireless carriers, bringing intuitive products to market across North America. He himself, he's also a small business owner of City Inc. LLC. It's a community-based consulting group for procurement of resources in business. About his team, Ennis said how advanced that the business model was for iGen Mentor. Their team has an established business model that's working and sought after amongst international students who are eager to further their education in the U.S. Their business model is a combination and extension of a college's admissions and academic advising department to ensure potential students are aligned with their expectations of a school and program. Lastly, Ennis shared these thoughts to all of our competitors today. Let today inspire you, being among gifted, ambitious, and innovative peers and mentors. And you should carry your inspiration to continually develop your business model and push to solve problems. So thanks again to Ennis for those comments, to Sherry and to Dustin for joining us today and being here to speak about their experience and to provide the motivation and encouragement to our students. Just briefly, as our judges wrap up, just wanted to make sure we acknowledged a few different people. As I mentioned, our mentors, our full list of mentors. I'll read their names: Merritt Green, Sherry Collins, you heard from, Ennis Mosley, Jacob Alexander, Dave Siegel, Sharice Johnson, Dustin Betts, Brian Ortenzio, Jason Graves, and David Cawley. Again, these individuals are working professionals that have professional responsibilities. Many of them have families, but they completely volunteer their time to be part of this experience, and they are a very valuable piece of this launchU program. So once again, thank you to our mentors. Also, I think it should also be acknowledged to thank our student competitors. This time of year can be a very busy time of year for both high school and college students when you consider midterms, finals. Some students who are seniors are graduating, preparing for graduation. Our college students, they may be interviewing for jobs and just wrapping up their collegiate experience. So high school students have prom during this season. So again, launchU, we're fortunate because we are competing with some other very important activities, during this season. So thank you to the participants for applying to the program and then just being present. There are a couple different meetings that they need to attend between the end of March and today. There's various, technical testing and just some other responsibilities that go along with this program prior to their delivering their pitches today. So we are, very happy that they've joined us. We're happy that they're being innovative, and we're fortunate that we can continue to support them, as they move forward. For anyone who's interested, please stay connected with the CIE after today's event for more information about programs like launchU and other ways that we're supporting entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. Log into our website or head over to our website and our social media pages. Our website, cie.harrisburgu.edu. And then you can find our various social media handles. But we have programming for not only students and young people, but adults who have interests and ideas that they want to pursue and get off the ground. We're here to assist you as well. For our attendees who are here, it's always great to kind of see where people are from. So just if you don't mind, maybe in the chat, just type in, where are you joining us from today? It could be city and state. I know we have some local presence, but as I mentioned, our competition has grown globally now. So we'd love to see where you all are watching and viewing from. So let us know in the chat. And
Panama.
Our judges have returned, and we'll get started with Jen. If you could let us know who is our best high school winner.
All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so our high school winner we are giving to Cozy. And we thought they had a great concept. We loved the prototype and the thought that went into it, the problem that they're solving. And we felt that there was a great kind of go-to-market strategy. And we were happy. We were very conflicted because it was a close race with Votar Panama, and we're glad to see that Votar Panama won the viewer's choice because it was neck and neck. And so congratulations to Votar Panama for the viewer's choice, but especially congratulations to the Cozy team for winning the best high school.
Thank you, Jen. Congratulations to Cozy. Cozy from Trinity High School is the winner of a $3,000 cash prize. So,
all right,
that is that's awesome and amazing. Next up, Martin, if you could let us know who our best college winner is.
Sure. I wanted to congratulate Olivia and the team at EcoNasi. Fantastic company, and obviously an extremely important market. But not only that, the business case to be made there. You gave me the best answer you possibly could, which is how you gonna source these. I think Del Monte is probably the best answer you can give there. But also, so again, very incredible company, incredible value proposition from all angles. So congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Martin. And congratulations to Olivia and team at EcoNasi. Thank you so much for participating. Olivia, just a moment while we have time. I'd love to know about how you found out about this competition about Harrisburg University in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
I think I just like every day I have to search about student competitions or startup competitions because we are actively raising funds. So one day I was just searching about startup competitions globally, and that's how I ended up finding out about the Harrisburg University launchU competition, and I applied, and here we are. Yeah.
Finally, last but not least, Alicia, we'd love for you to announce our overall winner.
Yeah, we had some fabulous presentations today. So thanks to everybody. There was one that really kind of blew us away. And so we are delighted to announce Mab Lab as the overall winner. So Sky, fantastic presentation born of a truly compelling and powerful mission. Your presentation hit all the boxes. Your business plan is spot on. Your growth trajectory is huge, unfortunately, given the purpose of your product. And you have a true competitive advantage within. Your materials were very compelling. And we hope that maybe you can share some of your skills in mentoring some future folks that are in the competition. But overall, congratulations, well done.
One more time, let's hear it for all of our winners. Emojis in the chat, hand claps, hearts. I did mention the high school winner wins a $3,000 cash prize. Our best college winner wins also a $3,000 cash prize. Our best overall winner is going to take home a $5,000 cash prize. So congratulations again to everyone. Thank you to the Hershey Company for your generous sponsorship of this event. At this point, we will bring up Madonna Watry. She is our program coordinator at the CIE. She has some thank yous and some closing comments. And again, thank you for being here, everyone. I'm Jamal Jones, program manager at the CIE, signing off once again from launchU. Thank you, and we hope to see you all next year.
Thank you, Jamal.
A huge congratulations to all of our winners, all of the participants, congratulations. We really hope that you take these ideas and you go out into the world and make it a point to make the world a better place. Thank you again to Hershey. Thank you to our judges, Alicia, Jen, Martin. Thank you to all of our mentors who considered taking all of this time over the past 8 to 10 weeks to mentor these students and pour into them in a way that gave them the confidence and what they needed to pitch in front of all these people today. That is all we have from launchU 2024. We are super excited. We will see you again next year. Thank you so much for attending and have an amazing, amazing day. We are excited to see you launch. Thank you.
Thank you.